How to use that shit, bro.
Welcome back from the holidays. We got Farmer back in the house filling in for James. I'm Hesco. Welcome to Ateasecast. We're just having conversations, BS, and drinking Monsters and Mountain Dew, and just talking about everyday stuff.
Cool.
So you finally got your hands on 6 Days in Fallujah.
Oh yes,
which is what we were BSing before we get recording and all that, because that game, from what I've seen, is something phenomenal.
Oh yeah, the Marine buddy of mine got it for me basically for a Christmas gift, and I started playing it. Yeah, holy smokes! Not only is it difficult from like a gaming aspect,
right?
Yeah, the audio on that will put you back.
No kidding.
Yeah, like I mean, I wasn't in Fallujah. I went to Ramadi though, and some of that stuff was just it's not generic background noise like you usually hear in Gulf War video games.
Yeah, there was that other one, First to Fight.
First to Fight, yeah.
That you play as a Marine fire team leader. And that was pretty innovative because it had the set, move, and move Marine Corps tactic.
Yeah.
So that's how you had to operate. But this is like in Yemen or wherever the hell it was, like some other Middle Eastern place. But you had the set, move, and move concept, which was widely known at the time for infantry battle tactics, and which the Army ended up adopting because it's far simpler than anything else that we were doing, even in the 82nd. So the set, move, and move stuff, we started picking it up fairly close to 03 and stuff like that. But whereas the Marine Corps been doing it this whole time.
Well, I think it's just one of those things that it worked for the environment.
Yeah, no, it's perfect because you have especially it provided the Marine infantry squad with that availability of operating as a fire team individually.
Yes. So
independently from the organic setting of the squad.
Yeah. So
whereas the paratrooper squad, you got your 4 little crunchies here, 4 little crunchies there, and then your squad leader, and they seldom separate.
Right.
But in urban environments, the set, move allowed for say your Alpha team clear this side of the street, Bravo team clear the other side of the street, because you have already established command and control and whatever.
And that's the way it was trained.
That video game highlighted it pretty good, but it still was lacking. It was like early Xbox.
Yeah.
So
missing
stuff.
What was the other one that was started on that? It was, I think, that first Desert Storm game where it was trying to get some of the squad tactics to where not only were you having to fight your way, you had to be worried about the rest of your squad and where to move them. But in the 6 Days of Fallujah game, there's no heads-up display. You can get a compass, momentary though, unless I'm missing a setting on it, and that's it. If one of your teammates marks something, they can do that. But if you don't have line of sight, like literal line of sight of what they've marked, you don't see the ping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we were playing the other night, and he's like, it's on my mark. I'm like, I can't see your mark because I was in a different angle. And I finally move around, and it's like, it's behind that building.
Yeah, move where you can see. Yeah.
Right. And having to go off of cardinal directions.
It's right there. Why can't I see it? Because I'm pointing at it right there. I'm pointing at it. You got to be here to see it.
Like,
that's crazy.
Oh, and after like the second or third try, because we haven't even made it through a single mission yet. Like at the second or third try, we were like, okay, as soon as it loads, because it changes every time.
Yeah.
We're going to pick a reference point to go off of, some sort of structure. Like, just like you would when you hit the ground, because we got, hey, on your left, contact left, and it's just like, what left?
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's I think we'll get on it because I'll get it, and then I'll jump in there, because you can't go wrong with port and starboard. So it's
it's a little harder in the game because you don't have that that natural idea of where
port is. But you know what? Once you establish your general direction of travel,
yes,
you know, it kind of gets a little easier. But yeah, we'll get on there because they have procedurally generated, and they made it difficult because, like, say for me, I was there, so you can't mimic the city of Fallujah and not have. I don't need a mini map,
right?
You know, like I know where I'm going. It's like I know where city center is. I know where I'm going. So, good luck.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be fair for the video game at this point because I already made it back from that place. So it's all right. It's gonna be all right.
It's a speed run now, right?
Yeah. It's just a speed run. That was just for funsies, you know. So, but I think it's fucking crazy that that video games coming out have come out of like major engagements or major places that, you know, some of us have been a part of. I think that's almost surreal to think about. So, I mean, I'll give it a look see and try to download it. I got a lot of other video games got in the way. Between work and video games and Christmas and I never even got a chance to sink my teeth in it. So I gotten James Starfield. So
it's on my wish list,
bro. Like we sank hundreds of hours on Starfield, bro. Like hundreds of. And the game's not that good, but it is hella fun.
Yeah.
It's a Bethesda game, so it's busted shit.
Yeah.
So.
But that's kind of the allure of it too.
But it has its charm in its own busted, quirky, freaking fish-eyed people. Freaking, it has its charm. So I don't know, but yeah. So we sunk hundreds of hours into that, and then it just kind of like. So I got Aliens, Dark. Something. What the hell's that new Aliens game? Well, it's not relatively new, but it's squad based RTS kind of. Aliens Dark Descent. So in that one, it's isometric, kind of top down, and you manage a squad of colonial marines, and you're trying to investigate this, this alien infested village or whatever the hell,
right?
Some form far flung planet, and trying to collect resources and stuff to fix your spaceship that you crashed into this planet with because of the alien and all this other stuff, and it is pretty badass, man. Like you have those real time strategy elements of you can pause combat or slow it down, take your pick. So you can either hit space bar when combat shows up to select your abilities, or if you want to throw smoke or whatever, or you can just deselect that and have the game just slow down so it doesn't truly ever stop.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you got the best aspect of real-time strategy games that's seldom used, which is no percentage rolls for your ammo. Like if you're at point blank from something, you're gonna fucking hit it.
Right.
You know, none of this XCOM. Pow! Miss. What? You know, it's like what? You know, because the machine rolled a 1.
Yeah.
You know, no. So freaking whatever, how many side die, you know, they decide to roll for you. You're like, shit, this is stupid. So, like, all these XCOM games, they play the percentage stuff, and they're beautiful games, but the percentage thing kills them. Bro, I'm like point blank on this.
Guilty pleasure of mine for those games is the Warhammer.
Yeah.
40K.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Warhammer series.
That game's old now.
Yeah.
And I'm still playing some of the original ones off Steam.
Yeah, there's a new one coming out.
I know.
Warhammer Space Marine 2?
Yes, I think so.
So, that one's coming out.
I gotta get my machine working right.
Supposed to be better than the last one. The last one was fairly fast-paced and just kind of almost like a Twitch shooter, but third person. Just kind of, it's almost like one man Gears of War for just but with orcs, it's just like cover shooting and all this other stuff. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, if you want to play that, just play Halo.
Yeah, I mean, but nothing beats Halo.
Yeah,
Halo had writing too on their side too, so there was that. But yeah, but a lot of games got in the way, and I think I fell off the wagon, and got back on EVE Online. It's just I can't help it. No game is giving me the anxiety of being in some real shit than EVE Online. Like EVE Online is tense. Like some of those space battles, bro. Like those ships, they don't cost real money, but they cost real money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'll roll out with a you don't want to roll out with something that you'll miss.
Right.
So usually I'll have a set. I can pilot a gazillion different ships in that game because I've been playing it since like a really long time. But I usually stick to one little genre of ships that I can buy in bulk, and so I don't have to cry too much when I lose them.
Right.
Because I've lost so many, but it's tense, man. Because you're sitting there and you're trying to pounce on another player, and that you think that player's not paying attention to himself, but he's actually playing bait. And you decloak and attack, and then his buddies jump in, and then you're like, oh, you bit off more than you could chew.
Yep.
Now it's a freaking race, and it gets goofy, or you warp into a new space trying to sell some crap that you mined or whatever.
You're
and it's like, you like walk around to a clan meeting, you know what I mean? Like, you're like,
hi guys.
Well, hello, yeah.
I'll just be leaving.
It's like that scene from Indiana Jones where the wall spins and you're like in the middle of a bunch of Nazis. You're like, guten Morgen. So yeah, I mean that game has a lot of those moments, man. It's something else, man. And you can't tell in some parts of space in that game, you can't tell who's on the map, who's on the grid with you.
Right.
The only way to tell is by using directional scanners. So you actually have to aim your parabolics and scan space to see what it bounces off of. like it goes that deep. So a lot of people call it Excel spreadsheets in space, but yeah, that could be true if you're an industrialist type. Because all of the content for that game is player generated. So
yeah, I haven't played it. I don't have any time on it yet.
So all of the content is player generated. So you can play free on a alpha account, which is it's the same account that you would make for an Omega account. It's just not paid. But the thing is that alpha account limits you on how much stuff you can skill up.
Right.
But it's perfect for getting to a certain point where you can decide whether this game is absolute trash for me or not. You know what I mean? Like by the time you figure out, I could put $14 in this thing for a month. By the time you get to that decision point, you'll be able to tell, like, yeah, this game is shit, or I'll do $14. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
And so it's a decent little thing, and there's plenty of dailies and stuff like that you get automatically to help you kind of push along, kind of edge along, because they want you in that pay cycle,
of course,
as fast as possible. So,
do you have any time with World of Warships?
Yes. Yeah. So
that's another zen for me. So
submarines, me and James get on there as a little mini wolf pack, and we'll get our German subs out and. We'll do some damage, bro.
I'm just starting to level up into like good players, so I'll get into a match, and I'll be just cruising along, be like, "Oh, I got this," and all of a sudden, I'm dead. 15 torpedoes just came out of nowhere, and I'm boxed in.
Yeah. So me and James gotten a lot of hate because we'll jump in and we'll jump in on the subs and just go hunting and start knocking ships out, man. And some of them subs that we got, they got freaking forward and aft torpedoes and stuff like that. Yeah. So we've leveled them to the max, so we can actually do max turns on these things. So we're like freaking forward to the forward torpedo, and then
spin around
and then jam the freaking rudder, just do a freaking Tokyo drift in the middle of the ocean, just freaking and blast with the aft, and it's just so yeah, we've gotten pretty good. So we'll do in tandem, like he'll hit and start his turn, and I'll hit my salvo, and I'll start my turn, and then by the time he's launching his aft, I'm already completing my turn, and then by the time I complete mine, his front have reloaded already, and he can start re-engaging. It's just we've gotten a pretty good dance of death a couple times on some of those maps, and people get pissed, bro. You'll get pissed. It's like, what are you guys, fucking wolf pack? I was like, yeah. That's how it was done. I
think I usually use a destroyer, and
destroyers they're super fast. I mean, some of them. I mean, there's a couple. I got a couple other buckets, but it's I mean, the German line has some pretty fast torpedoes too, and they have a good variety of ships. I mean, I hate the holiday stuff because they'll put all the skins, and it's like you're on the USS Reindeer or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? That's like some Christmas decorated jingle bullshit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a game. So War Thunder is probably the next best thing, but I don't play the ships on War Thunder. I just play the tanks.
Yeah, same.
So
you drift in a little small tank and
yeah, I mean, take a little M3 or whatever. It's one of your beginner tanks.
You just haul ass.
Full speed ahead. And then freaking jam a left turn. And just drift into a corner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, technically this tank could do that. But in reality, that thing would have just... Would have just bit on the pavement. And you'd have rolled that thing over several times. But... I like the sounds from that game too. The sound's pretty good. The acoustics. Your near misses are pretty terrifying.
Dude,
so
yeah.
You'll get the you're like, oh shit. And you'll look around, you can't see where the hell that came from. It's like, which one of you motherfuckers
That's
shot?
Always the scariest part. When you have no idea where it came from.
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing from that 6 season Fallujah, man.
Oh yeah, because
the sounds, bro. Sounds.
I was sitting there, and he's like, "Where are they coming from?" I was like, "They're rapping left. I can hear them on the other side of the wall, crunching on the gravel." And then you hear the click of like an AK hitting the wall, or guns hitting the walls on rubble and stuff as you're walking, or people misstep and trip because they're walking on
broken ground. Yeah.
And it's not...
You hear gear drag.
Yeah, and they're not on one level. So if you can get to it, they can get to it.
Right.
And they will shoot you from it. The rooms are not backlit. So
I saw that. Yeah. Dude. So I saw one of those clips. You get that stupid Surefire incandescent and not on all the weapon systems.
If you have a saw, no flashlight for you.
Oh, you got a flashlight.
On your M9.
On the saw, you got a flashlight.
Not on this one.
Oh, yeah, you do.
The muzzle flash?
Yeah. I see everything now. Yeah.
But they'll sit, like, the AI will sit in the back room and shoot you through a window, like through the grate windows, and you can't see them.
Yeah.
But you'll hear the sound of them shooting inside. Like, the sound.
Yeah.
And you're like, I know it's from inside, but you're looking at all kinds of stuff that's inside, and you're like, fuck, where's it coming from? And it's like, oh, your partner's down.
Oh, shoot.
And you only have a very limited time to get to them if they actually go down. Mm-hmm. to get to them, and they'll only let you heal if you're behind cover.
T-Triple-C.
Yeah. So, in
tense.
14 minutes is as far as we've made it into a mission.
So you okay? You gonna be okay, bro? You gonna make it? Oh, you call VA hotline, bro.
Yeah, right.
Get you hooked up, bro. It'll be all right. That's crazy, man. I gotta check it out.
Don't worry, someone will try to put that on their rating list.
Oh, I'm sure there's some scumbag over there. It's like, oh, yeah. Yeah, but I'm telling. I mean, it's not too far fetched, man. Because when I was down there, but it's like I told you, man. I walked around with a 240 and a broom handle pistol grip on the side of my Picatinny rail. 300 rounds in a sustainment pouch, mollied to my chest, and going straight to the gun. And I'm walking through that city, like I'm in the hull of that spaceship in Aliens.
Right.
Like, with my eyes is like, oh god, that place is freaking crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I drove through Fallujah.
Yeah.
I think we stopped overnight once, but that was in 2008 for me.
God, that place is bonkers, man. They're so savvy, man. They would shoot at us from all over.
Yeah. I spent most of my time in Ramadi chasing antennas.
Yeah.
Which was interesting.
It's a good place to be to chase antennas, too. That place is super rich.
Yeah. And then going from there to Afghanistan?
Yeah, but I mean, Afghanistan's, I mean, it's the interference, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Ramadi is a city.
Dude,
so
legit.
there's a lot of needle in the haystacks.
Well, what made that interesting is that they would use directional antennas because of that.
Yeah. Because
they would run into interference. So what they started doing is they would use directional antennas for their cell phones. So instead of, we just walk around and just have service somewhat, no, they would actually put an antenna up on their house, point it at the tower that they want to talk to, because it's not like here in the U.S. where...
Yeah, they point a dongle with foil. So we'll catch the little foil, homemade aluminum foil with the dongle.
Yep.
Signal extender with the USB jerry-rigged into it. Freaking like pinched on a window or whatever.
Well, they'd even take just a length of copper wire.
Right.
And then, so it'd be all shielded except for the last, 2 inches in the house. And then they run it up into, a little, coffee can style directional antenna.
Right.
And they would just put their phone next to it. And that works as a range extender. It's not as efficient as, the dongle or anything like that, but... Yeah,
the dongle is just kind of because they as the cell phone services progressed over there, they all started coming out with their own little thing and their own hotspots and their own, they try to communicate in a million different ways. So, but I gotta assume that the Ramadi and some of these other places like Fallujah, Baghdad, some of these other places, it's a lot of needle in the haystack situations compared to Afghanistan, where I've seen the board and you're like. And it's clear, and then the cow, freaking big ass spike, and you're like, there, nothing. That motherfucker right there.
Yeah,
it's like,
oh yeah, I don't know. It was almost like shooting fish in a barrel sometimes in Afghanistan out in Marja. It was like that dude. You sure? Yeah. See the one that looks like he's smelling flowers? There's a key up every time he brings it up to smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's getting ready to walk mortars in on you. Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll fix that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take him out.
Freaking weapons company guys, man. Love them.
Oh, yeah. You 0331s?
Oh, dude.
All the freaking weirdos?
It's very much. Got attached to a weapons company, and it is all the weirdos.
Yeah, because they pack the heavy shit.
And they're very efficient with their systems. Dude, these guys were setting up a tow missile every night.
Tow missiles are fun.
And
Tow missiles are fun. Have you ever shot one?
I haven't shot one, no.
Oh yeah, man. It could be the biggest waste of time in your life or the biggest fucking thrill. Because if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you just got so many corrections on that thing. So wire guided, but you got just so many corrections.
Yeah, I mean, when I was out there with them, but I never got to fire it. But they,
it's a treat.
When they were starting to launch the 107s at us, the Chinese 107 rockets, they were responding with tow missiles.
Yeah, I mean, what they were doing with us is they would grab a whole mess of those. I'm not sure what the caliber was, but it was a smaller, not 60 millimeter mortar, but it's a Russian 58 or whatever the hell. It's a weird.
Yeah.
It's an off caliber. It's not
off-brand.
Off-brand or whatever.
Great value.
Yeah. So Russians are always on Acme stuff. You know what I mean? So, so they put those Wile E. Coyote freaking mortars, and they would seal them and fill them with water and freeze them.
It's effective.
They would freeze them and they put them out there with the mortar at the top and just put them out in the midday sun, you know, and they would disappear. So as the ice wore out, you know, eventually that mortar round would just slide down the tube and we get hits from Boomerang. It'll tell us, you know, POI, but we got to the point where we were wasting on counter battery because. After a certain amount of time, we had G-Boss. So G-Boss could tell us, like, G-Boss would see POIs, depending, you know what I mean? So they would see, they go out 25 kilometers, you know, depending. But sometimes they would pick up on the stuff long before, and Marines or Army would apprehend the guys before they even got anything off. But sometimes they would sneak by G-Boss and set up. But you could tell that there was nobody there, so we wouldn't waste the
resources,
the counter battery. So it's just kind of like, hey, we just got smacked. So
you know, I realized not a lot of the ground guys actually knew about the G-Boss.
Oh, bro, I know they didn't because they got caught. Awesome. They got caught fucking in the fob all the time.
Like. Oh,
we used to watch the chicks freaking just service their nation.
Yep.
In the middle of that fob, just freaking doing her thing. We're sending bags like, where the fuck you suppose those two are going?
Oh man.
It's like, oh man, put the FLIR camera on them. Let's check them out. It'll be like, we're sitting at the jog and be like, hey Top, wanna come over here and check this out? Hey, check this out. Pretty soon we got like a bunch of people behind the screen watching this chick that we all know who she is.
Yeah.
Just freaking holding some poor Marine's hand. They're getting this runabout freaking Tata pickup truck or whatever. They freaking. We're like, send the fucking MPs over there. It's like, I mean, this shit happen all the time, man. It's just kind of.
Well, we had a G-Boss set up just outside of Ramadi, and it was a platoon of Marines on this cop. So there wasn't a whole lot of people, but we had a G-Boss. Dude, talk about awesome. And it was able to overwatch a lot of their patrols.
Yeah, because you're not walking 25 kilometers. That's what I'm about. I'm just putting it out there. You're not get out that goddamn far. But it's, I mean, you can, but it's not, you know, you patrol it. Because there was a time there where once we set up fobs, you go out and come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not missing Taco Tuesday, you know?
Yeah.
Which is part of the problem for how that war was fought, because we never really held on to a lot of ground. And it's just, but that's neither here nor there. It's I can go on for days on that. It's just like we gave up so much freaking ground. It's just we rebuilt this entire country, didn't make it a state, and it shit didn't make any sense to me. But G-Boss would, depending on where it was put, that aerostat could cover a lot of ground. So we had several cameras on that thing. We had one internal that's constantly spinning, checking out the camp, and it's like internal perimeter. And you got several others that are actually projected out, and someone watching like over the horizon stuff, like way the fuck out there.
Basically took the older. I'm sure the concept came from. They took the older cameras that were on surveillance planes,
right,
and just put it on a light pole.
Yeah, I mean they put on the balloons on the blimps. So the blimps we lost a couple of those. Like I know when I was in Asadabad, we lost one. It went all the way, floated all the way to Pakistan or wherever the hell it went. Freaking Rangers had to go out and get it and get the camera footage. I mean, get the equipment. Then we had another one that I don't know what the hell happened if the tether was, because one got shot at. So one was during a tick. And somebody got lucky, or shrapnel got lucky, or something got lucky, and it severed the tether, and that thing went floating the fuck away. It's just freaking just like gone. And then the other one, I think there's something wrong with the tether, and it just freaking detached and floated away as well. But that one didn't go very far. But
military grade.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That was the thing. It's just labor intensive for maintenance. Like, because they had it, they bring it down once every other day or once every day, depending on the op tempo. I mean, and in Afghanistan, not a lot of mistakes that we did is we occupied old Russian bases. So now, mind you, these guys lost that war by bad. So we then set our bases in those places where they lost big times. Some of these bases still have their bones in them, so Russian bones all over the freaking ground, and it's their shit. Like,
and it wasn't like
you digging through positions, like improving the perimeter, and you'll have a freaking engineer C out there freaking carving the ground to level out some ground to put out a bunker or put out something or set up a sandbag wall or put off Hescos and all that, and it'll be like fucking goddamn bones all over the place, a bunch of Russian crap. So it's just, I mean, we set up in all the wrong spots, So I mean, but G-Boss was great, man. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I had so much fun watching through those cameras.
Oh, and then they had the green laser on them.
Yeah,
they had an IR laser as well, but they had a green. The one that we had actually had a green dazzler on it.
Yeah, so
it was for marking.
So we had. Yeah, so we also had. There was a couple assets out there that knew. So developing, collecting, humid and stuff like that with some of these guys was. I mean, in Afghanistan, especially some of these bases could be problematic. There's one way in, one way out. Like, you see everybody that goes in.
Right.
Taliban pretty much gives a pass to the usuals.
Right.
Like, if you're a local vendor,
you've been vetted essentially.
You've been vetted. You've been vetted both ways. If you're bringing naan bread or whatever the fuck, whatever the hell it is, it don't matter because the Taliban's gonna take that money anyways. You're basically buying the stuff from the Taliban.
Right.
So that those guys are. They're that both ways.
Right.
So and we know that, but if we got assets that are not authentic to that base, like they're not known to come in and out, they kind of stand out.
Yeah.
So we'd use G-Boss because.
What are you doing?
So they knew where to stand. It's what I'm getting at. Like, they knew where to go. I was like, you go stand on next to this freaking cactus or whatever, and just hang out there for a minute. Wear this, put on this baseball cap because it's season color too. So
right.
I mean, it's like, put on this baseball cap and blah blah, and we'll send a truck out there. So that's there's a lot of different ways where G-Boss could kind of force multiply that and keep people safe,
Right.
But that was like, I mean, that wasn't necessarily my job. I drove a lot. I did a lot of driving, but that freaking leg, man.
But remember, you're a terrible driver.
Yeah. I'm a terrible driver. Yeah. Some freaking redneck freaking never left freaking a town of freaking 10,000 people fucking gonna judge me on driving.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking never done a J-turn of fucking up Armour Suburban. You don't fucking talk shit.
These are the same people that, like, don't wear their seatbelt when they're trying to do dynamic driving.
Oh yeah. Because you don't need to stay in the seat. You just gonna fucking hold on to the steering wheel with your life.
Yeah.
You know, because that's how that's worked. You know.
Yeah, their ass just swinging around in the seat.
Or people that put freaking goddamn leather cleaner in their freaking seats and their, you know what I mean. I was like, yeah, let me
armor all the floor mats. Like,
let me just armor all my seat. It's like, you freaking tool bag. Yeah, but I mean, I've traveled the world just to land in a freaking weird place just to be told that I'm no good. You know, that's people had never left the place. You know,
yeah,
it's funny, man. Nepotism is hilarious. You know, they don't let you see the truth. But yeah, but tonight we were supposed to have a guest come in, but he got tied up. Not literally, thank God.
No, he has been tying up other people.
Yeah, he's a very, very busy dude. So I wish him much success. I hope he got who he was looking for. But hopefully we'll get him on here next time around. But yeah, we BSing about video games, BSing about all kinds of stuff and in the news, and it's just like so much stuff had come out in the news lately in the last couple of weeks. I mean, it's just kind of 2024. You know, it's kind of gearing up to be some disaster fucking year of nonsense and gobbledygook bullshit. I mean, I don't know, like.
Everyone's so wore out of.
Oh my God! It's the same shit. 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 Just fucking rehashed, redacted, regurgitated, freaking branded, and then at the same time, you know, one hand's doing this while the other one does the other one. You know, it's just like, oh, good, great, googly moogly, man. Could you guys freaking cut it out with the nonsense already? We got all these political candidates trying to bide for position over there with the Republican freaking primaries, and I guess CNN just put out their town hall debate, and they excluded Vivek Ramaswamy, who's for all intents and purposes the number 2 runner in the Republican Party for possible nomination. I mean, realistically, they all know they're probably not going to get it. They're trying their hardest to get Donald Trump out of there, but it's not going to work. So, but they excluded this dude because he's been hurting a lot of people's butts. You know.
Yes. He's
been throwing darts at folks for a while now, and there's a lot of butt hurt out there, and. They just don't want to hear from him no more.
Well, no, because no one wants to sit down and do an honest interview or an honest debate.
Nah, they don't want it. They don't want it. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk real turkey, man.
No, and if it's a question, and this goes for debates or any other congressional hearings or anything, if they get a question that they don't want to answer, they just don't answer it.
Bro, I sat there. I've watched countless hours, well over 4 hours of. Senate congressional hearings and Senate freaking hearings with this idiot Mayorkas, the dude from Homeland Security.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've seen some.
Oh, isn't there a more punchable face in politics?
No. No.
I mean, dude, like I thought I wanted to punch Fauci once, but I don't want to punch Fauci nowhere near as bad as that dude. At least Fauci has some fallback. Because of the science community and his background. He's a stooge, but he's a scientist and da-da-da-da. Like, he got some plausible deniability for being a weakling. Right. He's like, I'm a weakling. Please don't hurt me. He's got that Rick Moranis friggin', you know what I mean? So you're like, I want to hit you, but
this other dude, like, not simple questions.
But, bro, at our Department of Homeland Security, we strive to blah, blah, blah. Stop giving me the fucking, I'm here to provide a safe, secure environment for the people of Kosovo, for the people of Syria, for the people of Iraq, for the people of Afghanistan. I've been through this rigmarole, bro.
We're here for the hearts and minds.
I was here to provide a safe, secure environment. I have two people with dignity and respect. Stop it with the fucking... Dude, we know. We have internet, bro.
Yeah.
Like, could you answer the fucking question? So my thing is that clearly he cannot answer.
No.
Because he is in danger.
Yes.
So what the fuck is Congress doing? What the fuck is Congress doing? Because me, if I had the money, I tell them, I said, the next question you're going to answer, but this is how I'm going to frame it. I will pay for your salary and your protection.
Mm-hmm.
I will pay to safeguard you.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. Answer this question. Don't worry about who holds your paycheck. I got you.
Yeah.
Be a patriot now. Your family, I got you. I'll protect your family with my goddamn life.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know that dude's in danger.
Yeah.
He has to be. There ain't no way you're gonna freaking throw the establishment under the bus and walk out unscathed. They're gonna throw something at him, whether it's a child diddling charge or something. They'll shove something so embarrassing and so reprehensible that he'll never be able to walk down the street of his own neighborhood.
Well, and the other flip side of that is, if there are any actual events that are being held.
I mean, some of these people are pretty scummy.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is
in a different world.
What I'm saying is that they see, asking a person to whistleblow. So, because this is what this is. Right. You're asking somebody when you ask them to testify at Senate Arms Committee, Senate Judiciary Committee, or Senate, whatever, unless it's something ambiguous like, hey, man, what do you need this money for? You know, it's like, oh, well, right. Looking at the 2023 statistics, we want to allocate money to blah, 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 blah. You got some boilerplate bullshit. That's fine. But you're asking this dude to throw people under the bus.
Yeah.
Without truly understanding what that fucking means. You think you're gonna talk about the Don? You know what I mean? Because you're gonna rat, and ain't nobody gonna stick one in your mouth.
You're just gonna walk away.
You're just gonna walk away from that. You just put on your loafers, no biggie. No, if you're sleeping with the fishes, bro.
Yeah.
So at some point, or either figuratively or literally. You know what I mean?
Right.
So either they'll murder your career with some scandal.
Right.
Or they'll literally
murder you.
You know, it's just, come on, bro. It's the proof's in the pudding. They've done it to they've done it to a couple Kennedys already. Mm-hmm. This is already public information. So, so they're not beyond that. Mm-hmm. Offer this dude protection so he can actually talk, because you know he's talking to Biden. You know he's getting briefed. You know he's doing what they're telling him to do.
Well, yeah.
What gives? Offer this dude some protection. You're asking him to do one of the craziest freaking things that you can ask a mafia member to point out freaking John Gotti in open court. You know what I mean? Are you out of your fucking mind? You think that guy ain't got no juice? Bro, you can't go anywhere.
No.
After you do that, that's what they're asking of this man.
Mm-hmm.
That shit don't make no sense. And some of the people that ask all these questions, I figured they had a lot more common sense, like that dude Luttrell and freaking goddamn fucking Cobra Commander over there with the fucking goddamn eye patch. The fucking dude from the cartoons, the fucking squirrel thing. You know, come on, bro. Crenshaw, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Fucking yeah.
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, Metal Gear, fucking Solid Snake over there.
Yeah.
Freaking, you figure they had enough common sense to know to figure out what you're asking. Look at what you're asking, bro.
Right.
Do you honestly think you're gonna get it here? Come on, bro. This shit's got to be closed door at least. At least. So I mean, you got to protect that guy.
Yeah.
What that dude knows, huh? So I mean, but it makes me hot under the collar that this guy can't answer, so he doesn't. And he sits there and just eats fucking leather all day, just like for hours, just like they're like, why are you so shitty? Why are you such a fucking shit? Oh, you suck, you suck, you suck. All right, I yield my time. Then some other guy's like, hey man, why do you suck? You suck, you suck, you suck. I yield my time. I was like, hey man, suck a dick, you fucking ball snatcher, blah blah blah. And he's just like, he's just sitting there for hours, bro. Witness protection, motherfucker. Fucking put this dude in a fucking Holiday Inn somewhere, man.
Right.
Fucking deposition him some other fucking way, bro. He knows the answer to your question. He can't fucking answer him. You got him on national TV. If I am watching him on YouTube, in my bathroom.
Right.
You think the fucking guy that's responsible for all this shit ain't watching? Come on, bro. I'm watching him like a fucking hawk.
If they're not in the same room.
They fucking paid for the training. They train them for these things.
Yeah.
So they sit them in a room and they fucking train them. Like, all right, what are you going to say? All right, what are you going to say? Hey, what are you going to say? Okay, okie dokie, artichoke. And they launch them. Come on, bro. That shit's unreasonable. But yeah, so Texas passed that law allowing law enforcement to deport immigrants that are seen in presence and view crossing the border illegally. That's the basis of it.
Right.
So a lot of liberals are already misconstrued it.
I mean, Texas still sending buses.
Yeah.
Throughout the country.
Yes.
Said, here you go. You could share the load here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what was the one? I don't remember. It was one of the governors was on.
Eric Adams, that dude from New York.
Was it New York?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
We're at our breaking point. You know.
No, there was another one. It was a smaller state, and was, this is what it summed up to be was like, hey, this is frustrating, but we're going to continue to do the right thing, and they made sure to show a clip of the bus with the Texas LP on the back, and
yeah, but the federal government was doing this long before Texas started doing it.
Yeah.
So because they've been ferrying people to blue states and red states and all kinds of predominantly red jurisdictions forever because they want to change the hegemony when it comes to the voting. They want to change the voting apparatus.
Right.
They want to have all these illegals register in and vote. That's why they're opposed to having ID cards. That's why they're opposed to, which can totally be done just fine. You have a driver's license. You can register as you can have your voter ID all in one go. That's not something that you.
Yeah, I don't know why that's so difficult.
It's difficult because they can't cheat when it's done like that. So
that's all it surmises to. It's just like people here in Texas, we stop them all the time. No DL.
Yeah, no DL.
And the reason is because they don't have a birth certificate.
Of course not.
We know that. Now, are there folks out there that are fucking living how they should?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've stopped people. They're paying taxes on their truck, on their trailer, their equipment. They have an ID card from back in the day, but when you can get one before the birth certificate was required. They have everything else except a DL. So they're contributing to their society.
So yeah, there's quite a few of them. So I got a couple around where I work, and they're illegal as fuck.
Well, okay.
But them cats are working their asses off, man. The problem is that we don't have an expedited way to grab these guys that are actually working, because these people that are actually contributing, they may not be contributing in taxes because they can't be employed if they're illegal. So whoever is employing them is actually.
Well, a lot of them just run their own business.
It's someone more. It's still they're not. I mean, they have something if they're running their own business, and,
right?
Unless it's like some underground landscaping thing, whatever.
Which is what you see a lot of.
But these people, there needs to be a path for them to actually go ahead and make that guy an American already.
Right.
That dude that's working his back off. Let's go ahead. Yeah, but I mean the thing is that we could tax the shit out of him. That's the thing. We it's a win-win. He wants to work. He or she wants to work. They want to come here. They want to work. Hey man, dude, run. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Thing is that there's not a clear path for that, or it's too long.
Well, there's a guy that was part of one of the Jeep clubs that I was a part of when I was still in the Marine Corps, and he did not get his citizenship until he was already a sergeant in the Marine Corps, so he was a sergeant of Marines. So he'd been in for 5 or 6 years at this point, and it wasn't until I think on his second enlistment. Or maybe he was getting out. I can't remember, but it was right there that 6 year mark.
Right.
and he's been on like 3 or 4 combat tours. Like, he's just now getting his citizenship. It was a big to do. Like, it's awesome, but like, why the fuck does it take so long? And that story is not uncommon, unfortunately.
No, it's not. It's not. There's plenty of veterans that have been deported. Sent back to wherever they were from.
They're collecting a VA check and they get deported.
Yeah,
like how does that make sense?
Yeah,
it doesn't.
But those guys, the liberals don't care about those guys. No. That's what I'm getting at. So it's they can't virtual signal about that. They don't care about that. They have their mold, and if you don't fit it, then they're not gonna go to bat for you. California is just starting free health care for all. On top of the fact that they've already started reparations programs, and they're in deficit, like an enormous deficit of fucking billions of dollars on their,
which is retarded on their part, because that state, when you look at the geography of the state and what it can produce and what it can handle, there's no reason why that state should be owing anyone money.
It's geographically possibly the best piece of land in America.
Yeah.
Best continuous.
Yes.
At least,
Yeah.
Because the East Coast has similar amenities, but you're crossing several states to achieve that.
Correct.
As far as one continuous landmass, under one government per se, I'd say California is fantastic. I mean, fantastic. Not only that, but the weather's phenomenal.
In the same day, you can go snowboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can go hit the beach, and then cruise like a river walk in the same day.
Yeah.
Because there's so much geography and kind of compacted there on the coast.
It's different ecosystems. So there's similarities to that depending on the time of year in Puerto Rico, where I'm from. So Puerto Rico, there's a huge mountain range that splits the island in half, which is why Puerto Rico is so well sought out for botanists and all these people doing research for medications and medicines and whatever, because the flora and the fauna there are so diverse, depending on where you go. Because the northern part of Puerto Rico is kind of jungle, rainforesty, nice and wet, and the southern part of Puerto Rico is mainly arid and dry. So it lends itself a different farming industry. So you can farm several different things in the north you couldn't necessarily farm in the south, and vice versa. Right. So it's very diverse. Scientists used to make their lives work over there in Puerto Rico and never leave. They're constantly researching stuff. They don't have to go to the Amazon. Why? They can go. They can find some of the same flora and fauna right here and still make it to Dollar General. Obviously be around the corner from a DG. Not.
Well, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a.
Yeah, of course. Of course, there's. Is Dollar General, Family Dollar, or freaking somebody. It's just somebody. Dollar Tree, somebody, or all three. So it's you can't beat that. You walk out of the jungle, get you hot and ready from Little Caesars.
Right.
It's all convenient right there. Whereas in the Amazon, I mean, you do your work, you go back to your tent. Hopefully, you don't die that night. Right. Some fucking panther don't drag you into the darkness. So
eat a cold sandwich.
So scientists used to make their lives work down there. I mean, it's just how it is. But California has that same diversity when it comes to ecosystems. So you can experience many different things. You can be in the high desert. You can be in beautiful mountains.
A little background for the people who don't know. I'm originally from California. Yeah. I escaped. Yeah. And I've lived in both main parts, both Northern California and Southern California, and kind of everywhere in between. And it is very true what they say is that the cities run that state. The big cities are extremely liberal. Once you get outside the city, it's like living in Texas. Mm-hmm. Like, it's most of the state hates the cities because of that.
Yeah. I mean, they had the majority of the voters too.
Right.
So they pushed the needle legislatively, but I mean, in the end, the counties are the ones that call the shots once you get out of those major cities. But
the problem is a lot of the counties have kind of a liberal city within them. Yeah. So it's so dumb. So just I won't go too deep into this, but for instance, to get your concealed carry permit in California, it takes an act of God, damn near, because it's a what they consider a may issue state, not a shall issue state. And the difference is a shall issue state when it comes to concealed carry permits is if you meet the state's requirements, you get a permit. If you're not a felon, this, that, or the other, if you meet the state's requirements, here's your permit. California, you have to ask permission. You have to write a letter to the sheriff of your county explaining why you need a gun.
Yeah, Puerto Rico's similar. You had to go in front of a magistrate and argue a case to why you need why do you need a license to carry a firearm.
But here's the crazy thing. So I lived in a county that the sheriff was like, you put the application in, you put down, I just want to carry a gun, and he'll approve it.
Right.
It was the workaround, basically. But that permit's good throughout the entire state.
Okay.
So, talk about segregating your people just within the state. So, like LA County, you ain't getting one. You ain't getting one.
I mean, unless you traffic in currencies or goods of over $10,000, and it's pretty much all. It's probably just as fast.
Like LA County,
because that's what Puerto Rico modeled their thing from.
Well, so LA County had a problem where they said that, but you do the process. Just no.
It would take in Puerto Rico. It would still take a few months. So I needed an affidavit, sworn affidavit that had to be notarized by the court, and then picture IDs, and then all this stuff. Like it was a lot, but then I had
packet.
Then I needed a sworn statement to why I needed a firearm, and I needed a membership to a gun and archery club. So I needed to have an active membership to a gun club. Then you submit all that, and then you go into the magistrated portion where you go to court and you argue with the judge and tell him why you need the gun, and he goes yay or nay. So,
but if they say nay, there's no recourse, right?
No, you can appeal, but good luck.
Yeah,
it's gonna take. If they denied you once, it ain't gonna look well for you. Because big qualifiers were armed security gigs. So if you had an armed security gig, which is why I got my permit down there, then that was pretty much like a no-brainer, especially with my background.
Right. So
that was like, I put my dick on the judge's stand, and they were like, "Oh, Ranger that, and fucking here's your license," But if you're not from my kind of background, you gotta have a pretty robust endorsement from your security company, and then or traffic in goods and or currencies valued over $10,000 at a semi-daily basis. So if you're transporting jewelry, currency, that stuff, then that's usually a fairly. It would just cost money and time,
right?
But you'd get it. So
it shouldn't be that way.
No, because the Second Amendment says it shall not be infringed. But
correct.
Guess what? They're working right now to ban all guns, all semi-automatic, for the most part, most semi-automatic guns, rifles, and anything that accepts a box detachable magazine with over 10 rounds. It's in the works right now. I forget what the.
They're probably trying to model
the Senate bill is. Well, it passed Senate or whatever. It passed. I don't know if it passed. I don't know where it's at. That's why James usually does that for me, because he's the one that's got the breakdown of where the fucking bills go. I just know they got written. I just don't know where the fuck they go after that.
Right.
For me, it's all magic. I don't. Yeah. I have no idea how that works. But but a bill got written and passed some voting somewhere, and it's now going for further consideration. But let's see.
Did they ever? I know that it was talked about. I don't know if they actually wrote it up, but they were trying to limit the amount of things you can put in a bill, so that people stop sneaking shit in.
Well, they're
because what was that? It was a couple years ago, I think. At this point, there was a bill that was passed or something last minute, and it was like a stupid amount of pages, like in the thousands of pages, and it got passed within like 48 hours or something between submission and approval. And someone did the math, and it's like you'd have to read like.
Yeah, this was recently too. It was like well over 1,000 pages of some nonsense.
Yeah,
and it part of that omnibus bill had supporting funding for the war in Ukraine as well.
Yes,
that was the big sticking point. That's why I remember, because it piggybacked the supplemental for Ukraine.
Right.
So it had all this other
Didn't
pork.
It have like VA stuff in it?
It had all kinds of pork attached to it, all kinds of nonsense.
Yeah.
So it's
like, oh yeah, this is for our veterans. This is all.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And then billions of dollars for Ukraine.
And then billions of dollars, and so then people, they blocked it, and they're like, "You're saying no to veterans?" No, stupid.
We don't have time to read it.
It's like the Puppies and Babies Act of whatever, blah blah blah, and then but on the backside it's like free golf courses for everybody, and they're like, you're like, no, I'm not voting for that. I was like, you're saying no to puppies and babies. You're like, no, I'm not saying no to the puppies and babies. Yeah, you are, because it's just right there.
Yes, I am.
Just the puppies and babies bill, and you're saying no to it. That's the slime ball bullshit freaking that politicians are known for.
They shouldn't be allowed to do that. It should be.
Oh yeah, that assault weapon man it didn't make it past Senate. So
yeah.
But it was it was supposed to be sweeping freaking regulations and all this other shit. That shit didn't make any sense.
Well, there was a ruling just recently that the ATF couldn't actually regulate.
Of course not, because they're not a legislative arm. They can't make laws. They can make rules, but they can't make laws. And even those rules, rules of violations. I mean, you may be able to fine somebody, but to punitive action over rule violations, they're talking about that brace thing.
Yes.
They're trying to turn people into felons. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
What law is that? Well, it's not a law. Well, what law is it? Well, it's not a law. Then who?
Well, what law says that you can enforce that as a law?
What law says that you can do that? Oh, we have the authority to make rules. So it's like, yeah, but laws are what imprisons people. So who gave you the authority to make laws? And oh my God, it became a fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was all 2023. They were dealing with that. Fuck, that shit was spicy. But
some got overturned because those braces are coming back again.
Yeah. All that stuff got overturned. That shit ain't passing nothing. Right now we're dealing with the misconception that states believe they can pull Donald Trump off their ballot because they're enacting articles under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, where they're basically establishing an opinion that Donald J. Trump was an insurrectionist, and under that attachment of the 14th Amendment, he shouldn't run. He's not eligible for office.
Right.
So they're pulling him off the ballot. Thing is that he has neither been charged nor convicted of insurgency or insurrectiony or insurgency or whatever the fuck you want. He hasn't been convicted of any of that. So
I think they just keep trying to throw paperwork at him.
Yes, it's just a constant freaking barrage of lawsuits and nonsense to try to basically bankrupt this man. And when one accusation doesn't work, another one gets fabricated, and then when something else doesn't quite pan out, it just got another one. So the thing is that My dad taught me back in the day that if you got mud on your shoes, you close to the puddle. I'm not saying that Donald Trump's the cleanest person out there.
He said it.
He's been shady. You don't get that kind of money by
even when that debate came up about the whole tax thing.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I use the same loopholes that they do.
Yeah.
I'm just not afraid to say it.
Yeah.
If you want change the tax code.
Yeah.
So, has he done probably shadier stuff? Probably,
but nobody wants to dig into that because there's a lot of other skeletons that are wearing blue hats over there. If you start digging, yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I said it once, I said it again. If you want to freaking dig into Donald Trump and what he may or may not be, you got to go back into his developer days when you couldn't mix a bag of concrete in New York City without talking to the mob. Just saying. Now, granted, I'm not saying that he didn't do what he had to do,
right?
Because you got there's a cost. There's a cost of business, and when the environment is that permissible, you still got to make a living. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's immoral. Is what I'm getting at. It's just the cost of business.
Yeah.
But if you want to dig, that's where you dig. Mm-hmm. But they won't dig there though.
No.
Why not? Oh, yeah, because a lot of these guys have been in politics for 50, fucking 60 years. They're involved in that mess, too.
Yes.
Because they took money.
And they're probably not as well liked as he is.
They've been on the take. They've had kind of campaign contributions. And if you dig that far back, you're going to discover their bullshit, too. That's why they're like, shit, if we sink him, we sink ourselves. So let's just leave this shit alone.
Yeah.
And they do. I mean, same thing that happened to fucking Epstein. Epstein, there's the investigation is coming back up again. Not the investigation, but a lot of people are talking about it. This guy had enough dirt on enough people to walk out of those charges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He could have done time in a halfway house and probation for 15 years and not seen a day in a penitentiary with all the information he had.
If that.
He knew that. That guy didn't kill himself.
No.
No, he did not kill himself.
There's no way.
We know this. So, forensic evidence doesn't add up of what's been publicly displayed. And there's been a lot. His brother did an interview with Tucker Carlson the other day and actually put out some more information of what he's found out so far. And there's a lot of inconsistencies. Me as a cop, I can tell you that there's a lot of no-nos in how that death was handled.
All of them?
Yeah. So, I mean, apparently Jeffrey Epstein was on the ground dead, cold as hell, for over 2 hours before they found him. But over 2 hours. But when they finally laid eyes on him, this dude was in a hospital gown in the infirmary. There are no pictures of Jeffrey Epstein in the crime scene.
And he wasn't in general population or anything.
There are no. I'll say this again.
Yeah.
There are no pictures of Jeffrey Epstein in the crime scene, like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the chalk. You know,
yeah.
They don't exist. Those pictures don't exist. Word.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me that in a federal penitentiary, a federal investigator investigating a in custody death didn't take no pictures?
Right.
In the 2020s?
Or
I don't understand if you were like, it's like fucking 1883. Where the fuck am I getting a camera?
They still took pictures though.
Yeah, but it took a while. Like, I mean, granted, he's dead. He's not going anywhere. So you just fucking just let. All right, hold on, fucking stand by. But I mean. Bro,
there's crime sketches,
dude.
Before pictures,
yes,
they took crime sketches.
Yeah, bro, come on. There's none. They don't exist. There's pictures,
Right.
There's very little indication of post-mortem validity. There's a lot of inconsistency. As a crime scene investigator, I'm telling you, as a certified by the state of Texas, legit crime scene investigator.
Yes.
There's so many inconsistencies in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can tell you right now, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, if I were, bro, even as dysfunctional as my previous fucking workplace was, if I were to submit a case,
no, it wouldn't.
Bro, my previous sheriff would fucking hang me from the tallest fucking tree.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Because it's shit. Because it's shit.
It wouldn't go there.
It's shit. Dude.
You wouldn't get that far. You wouldn't be able to leave the scene.
No, the fuck, goddamn fucking good old Randall Hill would lose his damn mind. You know what I mean? He'd look at that, it's like, oh, well, doggone, Hesco, this is the worst freaking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. That shit wouldn't pass scrutiny. It wouldn't even pass the patrol sergeant scrutiny.
No.
It wouldn't pass CID. CID would look at that and be like,
where are your pictures?
What the fuck are your pictures? You know what I mean?
Right.
Dude, I mean, I dealt with the in custody death, the other lady. I mean, I've went through the whole rigmarole with the Rangers and all that other stuff. You know, granted, I wasn't involved in that. I was just a witness to,
right.
You know, did CPR on the lady or whatever. But
well,
that's neither here or there.
Yeah,
but you know, but I've been privy to
we've worked a lot of dead.
People cases. We've worked a lot of dead people cases, bro. I got plenty of detectives out there that listen to this podcast and whatever can back me up on that. I was like, bro, come on, bro.
I think every cop,
bro,
that heard that was like the fuck.
Huh? The fuck? Why is he in a gown? Who dresses a dead body, bro?
Yeah.
And why would you intubate this dude for freaking oxygen delivery if he's been cold to the touch and dead for about approximately 2 hours?
Yeah.
Why would you initiate resuscitative services? You know, like I understand you initiate roadside because family's there,
right?
Or someone's there. You got to do something,
right?
Because families don't understand that their papa or mima is fucking gone.
Yeah.
They don't understand that. James can attest to that. I can attest to that. You can attest. We've done CPR many times to somebody that we know ain't coming back.
Missing their head.
Yeah. My fucking boy over there freaking doing chest compressions, a dude with no brain. Freaking, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We've been through that. But, come on. You're in a controlled environment. You're in a prison facility, in a correctional facility. There's no need to do performative theater for grieving family or anything like that. Person's dead. Run a strip. All right. They got temperature. Check on the armpit. Fox dude's cold as hell. Check for postmortem lividity.
I could see CPR.
I can see
that jailer that.
I can see if you get there, you don't see any lividity, and it's
right.
You know,
if you don't see any lividity, because
if you don't see lividity, and even not tactile temperature, but because some of those institutions the AC runs pretty cold, so I can see you doing CPR there if you get there and you don't see lividity. I can see that. You're like, okay, well, blood hasn't pooled, which means this system hasn't stopped working for that long. So let's see what we can get. Let's see what we can get out of it. But come on, bro. Estimated 2 hours time of death. They did all kinds of goofy shit. Who dresses the fuck body in a gown? Bro, that thing should be under a blanket in a bag. Like,
yeah, plastic bag.
Oh, fuck. I don't get it. There are a lot of inconsistencies, man. But they're all starting to come to light. And then the documents that were released are telling. Because, so a lot of people don't understand that this is not a traditional client list in the sense of the word. This is a list of documents that has names in those documents and different levels of involvement that you can extrapolate a list out of. Mm-hmm. There is a glossary that identifies the people, like enumerates them, you know, whatever. So that's the list that's been passed around. But in reality, there's a lot of people on that list, and there's a lot of people on that list that you would like to think they have some major involvements in it that don't. So Donald Trump's mentioned on those documents, 4 or 5 times. But he's mentioned as the subject of questions.
Right.
Is he on the list? The liberals saying he is. He's on the list. He's on the Epstein documents list.
Is what
I was like, look, he's not on the list. That's not. First off, he's not on the list. That's not a list. That is deposition documents and all kinds of other documents from the court cases, and there's names in them. And Donald Trump was inquired about because there's
like
pictures.
He put his information in there, and he put involvement type mentioned.
Yeah, there's pictures. There's pictures of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein, of course. They're billionaires, both of them. Mm-hmm. How many of them fuckers are around? You don't think you don't think they're gonna party in the same places?
Right.
You don't think they're gonna run into each other? You don't think the dude from Virgin Air runs into the other dude from fucking Amazon, and fucking Dr. Evil doesn't run to fucking Professor Xavier, and fucking all these fucking Avengers, and fucking they run into each other.
Yeah.
Because they're one of one for the most part. You know what I mean? It's not that many of them. So they run in the same circles. And I'm going to hang out with Manny, the fucking handy guy. You know, what do you think? You're going to find him in some fucking muffler garage? No, stupid. They're going to be in some fancy, highfalutin party furthering their business contacts.
Yeah.
To increase their wealth. So, yeah, they're going to run into people.
They're going to be unreachable.
Some of those people are fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Which is what happened to Trump, and what happened to a lot of people that took fucking selfies with Jeffrey Epstein, not knowing what a fucking monster that guy was. Because not everybody that was involved with Epstein had anything to do with them kids. So, you guys got to be objective. Do your own research. Take a look at it. Do a deeper dive. Don't take things at face value. They want everybody to, knee-jerk reaction and start writing people off. Not everybody that's on those documents had bad things to do with that guy.
And I'm sure there's still plenty that are unnamed out there.
Oh yeah, but that's because they continued to file to they actually filed to keep their names sealed on those documents in time. That's what happened. There's a statute of limitations, not a statute of limitations, but an expiration where they had time to file to seal their name from the documents, and those that didn't.
But wouldn't there be a list of those that filed to?
I mean, I'm sure, but if they filed to seal it, then they can't be revealed. A lot of those redacted names are also victims. So there's a lot of Jane Does, John Does, and stuff like that. A lot of those are cooperating witnesses too. So people need to understand is that there are assets that were assisting in this investigation as well. What's crazy is that nobody has gone to jail. Now, I mean, that may be slow moving, that may come, it may happen coincidentally when a Republican is in office, and but
wasn't it like a year, maybe 2 years ago, I think was it the Marshals did some simultaneous sting, and they hit like smuggling house after smuggling house after smuggling house.
We were talking about this when Donald Trump took over in that first year.
Yeah.
All these freaking hits that the Marshals were doing.
Yeah.
Then it was back to back to back.
And it wasn't like one or two kids or anything.
Bro, it was comparable.
15, 20.
Bro, this was comparable to some. So it was right after Ghislaine Maxwell went down. It was right around that time period. I'm not saying there's correlation, but the coincidences were way too convenient.
Right.
So all these people started. All of a sudden you get hits, and then boom, and then child trafficking in the 50s, bro.
Yes.
Like 50 kids discovered here in El Paso, 50 kids over here in freaking Milwaukee, 50 or wherever the hell. And it was just one after the other. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Well, it's so in the intel community, for those of you guys that are not too familiar, that's normally we see an up-tempo uptick like that when usually you get a big debrief dump from HVT. So you bring an HVT in, you freaking may or may not twist a few fingernails, and I say may or may not because a lot of the times there's been many times where interrogation tactics don't get past it just giving somebody some food and whatever, they'll tell you what you need.
Sometimes you can get a long way with just a
a lot of these there's a huge misconception when it comes to torture. It's not as prevalent as people think. A lot of these HVTs that come in, they're not dumb people.
No.
They come in and they know they're caught. They know they're caught, and they know their intel has a shelf life, and
so that means their deal's got a shelf life.
So that means that their deal's got a shelf life. So a lot of times they'll tell you what they need, what you need to hear. Sometimes they don't, and it takes a little bit more romancing. But yeah. So they may not freaking twist a fingernail or two, but in the end, when you get the product from that HVT, all of a sudden hits. Pow, 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 pow.
Well, yeah, because It's the dissemination
You know,
of
the dissemination
information.
information. You're like, oh shit, who we got on RC East? I was like, hey man, we got this guy over here in this mud hut. It's like, hey, we got this dude freaking sleeping under or whatever.
Yeah, because they
boom,
get
boom,
like
boom, 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 boom.
that little bit of
Yeah.
information that helps connect the dots.
Right.
Because somewhere that is someone's work right now is they're trying to investigate something.
There's some analyst over there holding 2 pieces of yarn, going like, what the fuck?
And then you're like, here you go.
Hey man, here you go. It's like, you tie it for him. It's like, makes sense now. It's like, holy shit. And then you get like simultaneous hits all over freaking the AOR, and people are going everywhere, and choppers going everywhere, and you can't get a freaking aircraft overhead for the life of you. But but they have it in short bursts. So you got a lot of these
because the information is time sensitive.
Yeah, it's time sensitive. So yeah, it's got a shelf life. So you see a lot of times when you see an uptick, that's what it reminded me of. I saw an uptick of just retrievals, and all these kids being recovered, large quantities of kids being recovered, and then you're like, whoa. What is this? It's like, so I mean, I can't help but think that something got put out, but that was time sensitive and got taken care of.
And there's always going to be lesser ones that are connected to the HVT that are going to roll.
Yeah. I mean,
because their boss got rolled up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a give and take, man. It's just like some of that stuff for Seer and whatnot. You know, you can't play hardball, man. You can't sit there and be the stoic type. I'm not gonna last name, serial number, and blah blah blah. You know, okay, be that guy. Then I'll wear your ass out. It's yeah. You got to play the game, man.
Yep.
And sometimes you give a little bit of nugget. Yeah, they're wearing green uniforms. That's all I'm saying. And then you know, and all right, intel. Yeah. You just of course that intel is insignificant to us,
right?
As friendlies, but to them they may have not known that. So
their boots are tan.
It's like they wear Under Armour. What is this new technology? We must research this Under Armour technology.
Oh, please do. Wear it all the time so it'll melt your skin.
Yeah, wear it all the time, yeah. So fucking melt the fucking shrink wraps you in a flash fire. So, yeah, it's just those things like that, man. So sometimes you get a little bit and it's actionable and they take care of it. But, so all that's going on right now with the documents and the list and the Epstein and the Ghislaine and all the fucking.
Oh, and there was another.
The Heman and the Han.
I was trying to remember her name. Claudine Gay's resignation.
Oh yeah, lady from Harvard.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a dummy.
And then, man, there's all kinds of people just like, oh, I'm out.
I mean,
getting too close.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that.
Because didn't she just get questioned the other day about?
So she was in a she was in a Senate committee hearing or whatever over anti-Semitist remarks that were being done in her university, and it started to get out of hand. Where they were the Jewish kids were having to hide and all this other stuff, and she was questioning about the validity of the First Amendment as it applies to hate speech and anti-Semitism, and she was basically all for it. She was like, "Yeah, it's I know it's reprehensible speech, but I'll allow it."
Well, then they start asking like
First Amendment,
sororities or stuff like that, and like, is it true you have like an all-white one? Yeah. So isn't that going against what you guys promote and this, that, and the other?
Yeah, I mean, she ended up getting dismissed because of plagiarism in the end.
That's right.
So she ended up catching like 50 different counts of plagiarism. I say counts for lack of a better word because I have no idea if she was criminally charged. But there was about 50 instances, I guess, of plus 50 of plagiarism. And that's usually what happens when you go against the grain and Big Daddy government gets a hold of you, and they dig deep and they find what your nonsense is. So they found her nonsense, and she got exposed over it. Now she's out of a job. Not that she'd be out of a job for long. I mean, this Democratic freaking government, they'll find a place for her where she can do some more damage. It's just
somewhere on the campaign trail.
Yeah, it's usually the way of the world. But I mean, she'll try to help out that cadaver we got for a president. Freaking,
oh my gosh! I can't take anything that he says serious.
But he don't know what he's saying anyways.
Exactly.
So
like I see little headlines, little blurbs, and of course the media always tries to get a good picture and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm like, this dude has no idea what he's doing.
Oh, you fucking La La Land, bro.
Like,
no, you in La La Land.
Like, if you go ask just about anyone on the street anything about Biden, they're probably going to say, well, he likes ice cream.
Yeah. I sincerely think he's a hostage, bro. Like, I think he's a hostage, man. You don't know he is,
though, now.
No, you know, but I'm telling you, it's like a fucking, or unless he's playing that fucking card. Remember that mafia dude that played crazy?
Oh, yeah.
For a long time to avoid prosecution? Was it, not Tropicante. That dude that's Florida. Gigante.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Gigante? Was it Gigante?
I don't think he's faking it on something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That other dude, like, wore bathrobes and shit and fucking, like, walked around, shuffled around. And,
like,
yeah.
I don't think people are just going to fall off a bike.
Bro, he forgot. Bro, dude. I mean, dude, when you stop pedaling...
He didn't make it to the spawn point.
Bro, dude, you know that when you stop pedaling, you're going to fucking fall over, right? There's no other way for that thing to stay up. Oh, my God,
He just keeps on walking onto the grass off the sidewalk.
Bro, Shane Gillis, the comedian, fucking had the best one. I was like, I love how he just turns to a Roomba and just like, and just starts wandering around, like, I'm like, where the fuck is this guy going, bro? He walked away from that Medal of Honor fucking thing, where he put the medal on the old guy. He's like, oh yeah, thanks for whatever, and then fucking the guy came around, he shook his hand, just walked the fuck off. The music is playing, he's just like. Just walk the fuck off. The guy's sitting there with the medal, like, oh, what the fuck is this guy going? He walked, like, to the front, like, towards the front of the building. Like, oh, dude, come on, bro. Like,
it's ice cream time.
But I wonder, I mean, Secret Service...
they probably have a hell of a day.
It's a fucking nightmare, bro. It's got to be. It's got to be. And you know they put him in the... You know he's, like, in intensive care every night. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's got the marks from the masks, from the sleep apnea mask. So, you know they mask him up. He had fucking stickies, like gluey from a freaking 13 lead, from a 9 lead.
Yeah.
So he had 9 lead, like, glue marks, like somewhere on his arm or something. I mean, it's crazy. So, they, like, hook him up to all kinds of shit and they put him in the fucking docking charger. Just fucking, all right, see you tomorrow, Papa. It's like, and they fucking just put him to sleep. There's some dude over there tending the generator over there, making sure freaking that thing. Like, oh shit! It's fucking crazy, bro. This guy, fucking dead man walking, bro. Like, it's time to bring him up. They probably fucking got a line in him already. Like, he's wearing a suit all day, so nobody sees. He's already got a lead in. Just fucking like, oh, fucking boom. Good morning, America. The mountains of Himalayas, Xi Jinping. Fucking international depression.
Some of the things he says, they can't even reason it.
Well, it's not English. So it's just not English. It's just like the other day, a while back, I got brought in to translate for a person that's being arrested and all this other shit. And I got there, and the guy's talking and talking and talking and talking. I look at the other guy. I said, dude, I don't know what he's saying, but he's not speaking English. The guy's like, I'm missing all my teeth. Yeah, he was speaking English. He was missing all his teeth. I was like, I don't know what he's saying, but this ain't Spanish. Fucking method is missing all his teeth. I was like, I can't translate what he's saying, man. I have no idea what he's saying. So it's just... Yeah, it's crazy. It's the same thing with this dude, man. He's fucking La La Land, bro. I don't understand, man. But
he's campaigning again.
Allegedly, I think Newsom will take over. But but yeah, we got it's about what do you want to do? You want to take a break? Or?
Yeah, let's take a little bit of break.
Let's take a break. We'll take a break and recharge these engines, and then we'll come back and keep on BSing.
Yep.
The systems there. But yeah, fuck Biden.
Yeah.
Anywho.
We're going to change gears a little bit here.
Yeah. So, farmers pretty big with vehicles and whatnot and cars. I'm an aficionado, not quite as an expert. I wouldn't say expert, not quite as versed as farmer here, but I do know a little bit.
Hesco's a little bit better at driving them.
Yeah. I love to drive. I just not as well trained as when it comes to doing the mechanic work.
Trial by fire fabrication.
Yeah, I mean, me and my dad fabricated a couple things, and my old man was pretty savvy with that. We did a lot of work on a lot of cars throughout our time. I mean, growing up I wouldn't say poor, but just kind of like low middle class there. Mm-hmm. With you gotta get ingenious with your vehicles. You got to learn how to do a lot of things.
Well, yeah, you can't afford just to send it to the mechanic.
Yeah, no, it's just that sending it to mechanics it wasn't an option. Nope. Sometimes, as you guys know, cars break down always when you're at your worst.
Yeah. Oh man.
Where when you got $40 in your pocket, you're like, fuck, what is that noise? Oh, you're like, shit.
Yes.
So I mean, it's so farmers been working on a what the hell is it? A Rebel?
It's a 1969 AMC Rebel. Mm-hmm. It's a 4-door, 6-cylinder car, so it's not like a rare,
right,
in the sense of a collector's item. And AMCs are very niche, anyways. Mm-hmm. But it was the car was a gift.
Right. And it has a lot of emotional value to it. Yes. It has sentimental value, and rightfully so. Because it's the way you came about that vehicle. So it took a lot of research and a lot of love and a lot
yes. of. It took someone else paying a lot of attention to the things that I liked and.
Yeah. So it's well worth the time.
Yes.
To put in it, because to not get this car up and running would be a disservice. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's almost like a.
And it's and the purpose of the car is to be a cruiser, to drive.
Right.
Like, you just, like you would a normal car. Like,
right.
Hop in and go to the grocery store.
Yeah, just be your daily.
Yeah.
Just a nice retro daily.
Exactly.
So for those of you guys in the podcast that known me for many, many years, you guys remember when I ran around that 74 AMC Hornet X, race orange all over Vietnam. The crazy straight pipe freaking ratchet shift and just those of you guys that I gave rides to that we couldn't even talk inside that damn thing because it rumbled so loud. My wife hated it, bro. Oh my gosh, she couldn't stand that thing. Begrudgingly, I sold that in late 2002 before we went to Iraq. Mm-hmm. Because we had just gotten our op order for Iraq.
You figured you weren't coming back?
Hell no. We were supposed to do a parachute assault into Baghdad. What? Yeah, I'm not that lucky. Yeah. I knew I wasn't going to make it past that. I was like, I'm dying for sure. They're like, oh yeah, casualty projections are in the 60 percentile and blah, blah, blah. And we need at least 30%, 30% of the task force to make it in order to achieve our objectives, that kind of shit. You're like, what? Wait,
you're okay with those numbers?
I was like, and that's all right. I was like, that's acceptable. It's the 2000s. What the fuck's wrong with y'all? So yeah. So needless to say, a lot of you guys that know me, we know that jump didn't happen. Thank God. And but I ended up selling all kinds of shit that I thought I was never gonna see again. And I sold my car, man. Never saw it again. So when you got that Rebel, I was like, oh, nostalgia.
I remember we were talking about it before I got the car.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a conversation piece because it was like, AMC is not a common...
Right.
It's not a common brand for people to either one, have a whole lot of memories with, or two, be excited about.
Yeah.
Because they kind of came and went, and they made great cars.
Yeah.
But they didn't make a lot of them, and they didn't stick like the big three did. So when we realized that you've had a couple AMCs, and you knew what I was talking about, because I got so used to, like, I really want an AMC Rebel, and they're like,
Woo.
A what? Is that a Chevy? Like, no.
No.
AMC is the conglomerate of all three, basically. Yep. But, we were talking about...
American Motors Corporation.
Yes.
So.
Which is now... I've looked into it. FCA Fiat owns the name, and they've buried it.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Of course, they make shit cars anyways. You seen a fucking Fiat?
I drive one.
Now?
Yeah.
Wait.
Wagoneer.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of Fiat 500 shits. I could probably kick one of those across the street.
They do run good, though.
Yeah, they do run good. I'm pretty sure I could fucking Sparta kick one across a couple lanes of traffic. That thing does not look safe, bro.
You remember the TikTok I got in trouble over?
Oh shit, bro. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you that fucking
the one pursuit I wasn't part of.
Right, dude. Oh Lord have mercy. So, yeah, I mean, hell, I fucking picked up one in Greece. Like, lifted it.
Just put it in your pocket and be
just fucking pick that fucker up.
Go ahead and change the tire real quick. Here, I'm going to hold it for you.
Like, just fucking deadlifted that fucker. I was drunk as shit, too, so it's just...
Someone said you couldn't. And you're like,
I'm in Athens, and I'm wearing a fucking goddamn muscle shirt. You know, I was yoked, too. And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to fucking pick that up. People are looking at me like, what the fuck? I'm over there hulking out. Freaking... Yeah, a fucking car, man. What the fuck, bro?
But the problem I've run into with the Rebel, so the beauty of it is this car was 100% complete when I got it.
Right.
Everything. So I thought I was missing a few trim pieces. They were in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
So I have every single original part for this vehicle, including the original invoice, like a lot of cool old documents.
Yeah.
But it's not a rare car, and it wasn't bought to be a collector item in that sense.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out how to turn it into a daily.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it had a $299, I think. $199. It had a small inline 6 in it. A great granddaddy to the Jeep 4-liter. So much the great granddaddy that you can actually swap the cylinder heads between the two engines.
Huh.
Yeah. Jeep said, it works.
Yeah, let's go with
Let's just keep going with it. But the bell housing was the year before they standardized them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's some weird round bell housing pattern. So your picket transmission is nil. You get some weak Borg Warner 3-speed automatics, maybe a 4-speed manual if you can find one.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't very strong at that. They were economy cars.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I'll put a picture of what a Rebel looked like over here on if you could see it. But hell, the door handles were like refrigerator door handles.
Yeah,
you know, it was made with a lot of common material that was already out.
Yeah, you know? So like the Rebel had I think a Ford ignition.
Mm-hmm.
It used a Chevy steering box.
Right.
Same with the power steering pump, I believe. Well, mine wasn't power steering. But a lot of the parts were just from the big three that they just took, essentially.
Yeah.
So they just went to the supplier of those parts and were like, hey, we need some. And they're like, well, this is what we have. And they're like, hey, that works for us. We'll design the car around it.
Yeah, so mine ran a small block 304. And that thing, man... That thing ran. I mean, it ran like a dream. So that was a barn find. I was partying with some KKK dudes. Funny enough. That's a crazy ass story. So I had a soldier that lived in Davidson County, North Carolina, in the sticks, and he invited me to a shindig at his family's house and whatever, and so I'm like, sure, I went over there. Well, a bunch of freaking Klans guys.
Yeah, you didn't know that going over there.
I had no idea going over there, but they kind of like, what the fuck is this brown guy doing here and whatever, and I'm like, shit. And I'm here now because he brought me there, so I'm like, fuck, he's my ride. I'm like, oh man, this sucks. So, but they warmed up to me. We ate a lot of food, listened to a lot of music. Freaking, we destroyed a car they had on the yard. It was redneck shit, bro. Like, we had an LTD that needed destruction or whatever, and we're doing donuts around an old telephone pole. It's fucking crazy, but mudding in it, like, right. It's just, I mean, just redneck good old boy stuff. And on one of those things, I looked over and I saw a tarp just kind of flapping in the wind on the barn, and I saw an orange car. And all I saw was the rear quarter panel and the back tire. And I'm like, where do I know that from? Like, it was familiar. Like, I was like, fuck, I know that from. It's like, what is that? It's like, and I kept looking at it. I'm like 100 meters away, so I'm like, I couldn't quite make it out, and I wandered off in my drunken stupor, just wandered over there, just freaking looked at it, and then the owner came out to freaking check his mailbox, saw me by the barn, and he knew the party was going on. He's like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, hey, what do you got? What's on the tarp? Oh, that's my 74 AMC Hornet X. And he freaking whipped the damn tarp over it that was over it. And I'm like, oh, what? I was like, yeah, I bought it back in 74. And, I couldn't, once I had a family, I couldn't drive it all the time. And if you know anything about AMCs, the Hornet X had no back fucking. It's 2-door. It's about the size of a freaking Mitsubishi Eclipse. Mm-hmm. The old Mitsubishi Eclipse, the small ones. So, yeah, it's no back. Like, it has back seat, but that's just decorative, pretty much. I mean, good luck cramming in there. So the guy's like, yeah, I got a family, and I bought a bigger car for the family, and I just fire it up every Sunday, every now and then. I drive, so it run. So he's like, dude, it runs. He's like, oh yeah. He freaking slammed the key in there, man. And I'm like, what the fuck? And
I
was like, dude, are you selling this thing? He's like, well, I do need to get rid of it, make some space or whatever. How's $700 sound? I was like, I'll be back tomorrow. so bro, I did not have $700. So I called my dad. I was like, Dad, you're not gonna fucking believe this shit. And my mom, who watches our podcast and stuff like that, she can testify to it. I called my dad. I was like, Dad, you'll not believe what I fucking found. Blah, blah, blah. And I gave him the rundown. He's like, how much do you need? I was like, I need $400. He's like, I got you. So he wired that stuff, man. Dude, I went the next day, gave him the $700, went to a notary that he knew around the corner, did the trespass, the passing of the paperwork, the title. North Carolina, you have to have a notary to do that. Unlike Texas, which is kind of like you want it? Here's yours. Yeah. Here's the case. And, whatever. Scribble something on a napkin is yours. So got the notary thing done, and so now me and my wife are driving back, but she's driving the car. She's driving the family car, and I'm driving the fucking AMC on the way back. So she takes off, and I'm on the highway. This thing got no tags, no tag, and I'm the car was so impressive in its current state that I dare to say that at that point in time there was probably 2 in the entire East Coast that were in that condition. I had a Dodge Viper come up next to me, not to race, but just to look at the 74, right? The guy, he was like, what the fuck? Where did you get that? Like, the guy screamed, we're on I-95. And he's, I-95 head back to Bragg, and he's like, where the fuck did you get that? That is badass. I'm like, badass? You're driving a Viper. And the guy's like, oh no, that car's badass. And whatever, we said whatever, and he took off. So I freaking hit the right lane. I'm freaking coasting. I'm like, I'm gonna open it up and see what this puppy got. So I had already driven a solid 10 miles already. It's nice and warm. I'm like, all right, fucking ratchet shift. Oh yeah, I fucking sitting in my seat. right past the state trooper. Freaking state trooper freaking pulls me over. I'm like, fuck. God damn it, man. No tags, no nothing. So I'm like, getting ready for the. The guy's like, you step out of the vehicle? And I'm like, shit. Here we go. He's like, pop the hood before you come out back here. And I'm like, I want to take a look at this. And I'm like, that's like, leave it running. We did a full run around the car. The guy said, "No, you sit in it." And he sat in it. And we sat under that hood looking at that car side of the road. He's like, "Dude, do you have any idea how rare this thing is to find?" I was like, "In this condition?"
They didn't make many of those Hornet.
I'm like, "Yeah, dude." So he keyed me up to one thing, the one deficiency that car had. Mm-hmm. So he's like, "Come over here and listen to this. You got the only thing that sounds bad in this car." And it had like a little leak on the manifold, so it was hissing a little bit as it lost compression. You know, as the cylinders went,
yeah,
you know, it would just have this little slight. But I mean, you had to have a good ear to listen to it. And I've been just so enamored by this car that I hadn't really paid attention to it.
It rumbles, I like it.
It rumbles and makes a noise. I like it. Ooga ooga. So. But that cop was like, yeah, that cylinder right there's a leak in the manifold. And he kind of like keyed me over, and we found a leak on the side of the road. And he's like, oh, that's superficial. All you got to do is run a bead over that, and you're good. Make sure you freaking take battery out, ground this thing, you know, whatever. You know, if you run a bead over that, and you're back solid. Mm-hmm. So that ain't shit. You ain't even got to take this thing apart. It was a hole on a weird spot because it wasn't near the
collector?
Near the collector. So, and it wasn't near any bushings or anything. So it was like on the cylinder. So it was weird. But so I was able to. I took it to the garage over there, Fort Bragg, where they lend tools and stuff like that, the hobby shop. And I had some old guy over there freaking help me. Okay, I'll just run over freaking stick welder. Fucking ran a bead over that thing and just sealed it, and that was the end of that. And that car was fucking solid. Bro, as is.
Yeah.
All I needed was a car wash. Now, I could have used a little bit TLC on the paint, but who gives a shit? 74, bro. That thing was badass. But yes, I fell in love with them ANCs, man. Thing is that now it's just kind of like not a priority, you know, kids and whatnot. It's just I don't have the space. Hell, your ranch is holding one of my cars, so it's just kind of like you know, God knows when the hell I'm gonna get busy on that one. So. It's one of those things. So that rebel has a lot of sentimental value for all of us because we know what Jay fucking went through to get that car. It was pretty ingenious. So yeah. She found a second one, didn't she? Did she found two?
She found a couple backups.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
That's what it was. She found a couple backups.
Okay, because I thought you guys were gonna have like his and her room.
Well, no, her. So we kind of do, but she has her dad's truck.
Okay.
Which is a 69 F100.
Correct. Yeah, I saw the 69 F100. I think. So chef's kiss.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. But back to trying to get this thing as a driver, the suspension on it. So one, it's a very dated design. It's similar to the early, like the 64.5 Mustang style suspension. Mm-hmm. Single control arm. Strut rod off the back, and then some sort of knuckle trunnion collaboration thing. I start taking apart one side of it, thinking, let me just tear into it, see what actually needs to be replaced. Mm-hmm. I just want to drive it. You can't get damn parts for it. You can. They're going to cost you, though. For a pair of lower ball joints for that car, $400.
Oh shit!
And they're not like good. They're just that's all you get.
Right.
You can get strut rod bushings because they were the same as everything else. Like the upper control arm bushings and all the other bushings you got to replace. They're the way they pressed them into the form steel control arms. Mm-hmm. They weren't really designed to be replaced. So they're not sleeved. So the bushing just gets pressed into two holes in sheet metal.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so unless you like set up a jig to hold that, you know, hold the sheet metal just right, you have a chance of just crushing the arm.
Right.
And I was like, well, I can pull the old ones out, build some poly bushings for it. Mm-hmm. Poly bushings you can cut to fit, essentially. Right. But then I'm still stuck with a very dated suspension design. Mm-hmm. Like, extremely dated. And it uses a trunnion style knuckle spring thing. And so there's no upper ball joint. Doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. The top of the knuckle pivots on a bronze bushing, which is very strong, and it obviously will center that knuckle perfectly.
Right.
More or less what people would be referred to as a kingpin, on which is usually desirable in racing as well as in the off-road world because for their sheer strength. But they're not forgiving. And when you have to rebuild them, they get expensive because you're machining stuff and...
Yeah, you had to fabricate from scratch. That's not something you find in surplus anyways. But
I'm sitting here trying to decide what type of suspension do I want to put under here because AMC just made it like a square underneath. Like the frame rails under the engine bay are just straight.
Yeah, and that's what we were running into when we were talking about the unibody design of that vehicle as opposed to.
So if you don't know what a unibody is where
versus body on frame,
it's all they designed the car for all the parts to be together to maintain its strength, whereas a frame on chassis a body on chassis like a Crown Victoria,
right?
The frame is very rigid, and that's what holds your axles, your engine, your suspension. And then you put the body on top of that with some bushings.
Right.
And you get, comfort in the car, but a very strong chassis for road use.
Right.
But it weighs a lot. That's why they went away from it in most cars, is trying to stay within EPA regulations for fuel mileage and emissions. And the way to do this is they cut weight. Mm-hmm. But the AMC was also trying to cut weight. But when they did it, they I feel like they just ran out of ink when they were printing this damn car in the middle. So like the front frame, the front engine bay and the frame rails that go right into the firewall, they look decent enough, right? They're boxed in. They look decent enough for 1969. And then right past where the transmission crossmember mounts, which is right about where your feet sit when you're sitting in the front seat of the car.
Right.
It just goes to floor pan. There's no frame rail. There's like a 2, almost 3 foot section of the middle of the car. There is no frame rail. It is just floor pan. And then the frame rail picks back up for the rear hump and whatnot.
Yeah, so what I was thinking about, so we were sitting there kind of trying to troubleshoot a workaround. And one of the workarounds, because we're trying to maintain that car as authentic as possible, but we're running into a situation where that may no longer be feasible.
It's not. I've given up on
so
maintaining its authenticity for the chassis.
Right. But we had to convert that thing into a frame on body, which is not an easy undertaking, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Particular because all you got to do to maintain the look of the Rebel is the aesthetics.
Right.
So you can cut panels and reattach, repaint, sand, repaint. Mm-hmm. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. And you wouldn't necessarily lose the strength of the frame once you reattach it because of where you're dropping it.
Right.
So I was looking at a couple frames too, like the F series chassis are usually not they're framed down middle, so it allows floor pans on both sides of the frame.
Okay.
I just don't know how that would interfere with the Rebel's transmission and diff, but it's opposed to the traditional H. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
frame on both sides where you're actually sitting inside the scaffolding. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just kind of like, or on top of the frame. It's just kind of just a different way of looking at it. Some of these Ford frames for the specifically F100 series. The frame's kind of a little bit more closer up down the middle, dual bar down the middle, but it's not battering ram on the outside like your Crown Vics and your LTDs and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like.
And I've been looking because a lot of cars nowadays they do a front subframe, or an engine cradle, because very rarely do they drop engines from the top anymore. They come out the bottom.
They come out the bottom, yeah.
For packaging.
That's another thing. So you can do by doing that because you can cut the panels, ditch the rest. That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Cut the panels, ditch the rest, and then freaking get a rolling chassis or something badass you want to fucking put in there. Fuck that inline six. Fuck all that boot. Just get you a.
Well, the chassis is going to dictate the engine.
The chassis is going to dictate it, correct. So then you get you a rolling chassis or something else, and then build panels to attach the panels. To attach the body.
Well, I've been pondering.
And you can waffle those for weight reduction.
Charger.
Yeah.
Because again, that's a front subframe that will come out, like the ones we used to drive.
Yeah.
And so it'll give you a 5.7 Hemi.
5.7 Hemi on a Rebel.
They're the same width, within an inch.
Yep. That'd be a hell of a project. Shit.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Fuck, that would cost too. Fuck. Yeah.
Well, I've been looking at like Copart and all these other ones and get a wrecked out one because I don't need.
Yeah. You don't need the car.
Or like, or just for the frame, I'll buy a burnt one for the chassis.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so another consideration is does that change the. Would that change the characteristics of the title of your vehicle? Would that
no?
That would not make it a salvage vehicle.
No.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because that's something we deal here in Texas as well. So it may be super easy to get your hands on a car, but yeah, if your car,
I think there's a certain percentage, but
car has a salvage title, you may have some.
Right. Not a rebuild title.
Not a rebuild title. So you got a salvage title. You're just like, oh fuck. so
there's a good chance you're going to jail.
Yeah. I know. I've seen it, bro. I was so confused. I was in primary, and I was like, oh, I'll just hold this clipboard. That wasn't too long ago. I was like, what the fuck's happening? Got a salvage title. I was like, what, man?
Yeah.
I'm like, and?
It's Class B.
I'm a car guy, so I'm like, man, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah, salvaged it. You saved it. No, stupid.
No,
this bad. I'm like, fuck.
I had one,
poor guy.
One number on the serial part of the VIN was off. Poor soldier got swiped.
Oh.
With a salvaged one, but now I've been pondering
shit. What about
the all-wheel drive Charger, or
what about the fucking Jeep XJs?
So I have one.
Right.
I got one for parts.
What about that fucking frame?
They sit too high, and they're also a unibody.
I was looking at a Lamborghini. Frame of a Lamborghini.
They break down all the time. I don't want one of those.
There's another one here I'm looking at too. That's this is what I was looking for. Yeah, there's also the GMC X frame from which they made, this is the same fucking thing. Never mind, I'm a fucking idiot. It's the same one. It's just different name. They scratch that. It's the same shit. Yeah,
but I've been looking at the different types of suspensions that are out there because I can build brackets and tabs and stuff like that. Because the end goal is to have long-term serviceability.
Have you looked at Canadian Hot Rods?
I have not.
Yeah, they build custom frames, like to spec.
Right. Well, I got friends that build Ultra 4 buggies and stuff like that, like professionally. So I can. I if I don't have the skill, I got the friends that have the skill.
Yeah, because I was thinking about. So Canadian Hot Rods Inc. they specialize in old hot rods, and they do full restorations, full body work, full everything. But they also build custom frames specifically for situations kind of like what you're on. So well, I don't know how much they would, because you don't need all the bells and whistles that they sell their frames with.
No.
Which could be cost effective is what I'm getting at.
And what I've run into when looking at aftermarket frames, so on, I can't remember the name of the company, but it's on the AMC Lives website. It's a sub company that a vendor of theirs. They sell a whole subframe that will weld in for the Rebel that gives you twin wishbone, suspension, the whole 9 yards. But the problem is, one, it's expensive. It's like $5,000, and it's all Heim joints. So it's designed for someone that wants to run it on the track because it's very strong, it's very tunable, but everything's a Heim joints. And Heim joints, if you don't know what a Heim joint is a spherical rod end, and they're not serviceable. There's you don't grease them, you can't grease them. When they go bad, they go bad. You get them wet, they're going to squeak. You don't really see Heim joints in OEM applications. No,
because they're not dailies.
Right. So
they're exposed to different kind of...
It's a Control Freak. That's the company that makes it. Control Freak. And they make the whole subframe that will weld in and give you double wishbone suspension and knuckles. And the other thing is brakes. So right now the Rebel's got drum brakes all the way around.
Yum.
Manual drum brakes with manual steering. The rear end's easy. It's a solid rear axle. That's easy. That's a no-brainer. The front is where it's like, okay, pick a path and just go with it because it's going to be expensive no matter what you do. They make a couple brake kits. There's a Willwood one that gives you all the fancy brakes, like fancier brakes than that car will probably ever need. Yeah. And then there's some DIY ones that, you use a caliper from a Chevy Cavalier and a rotor from a Toyota Aveo. And I'm all about that. That's fine. Mixing and matching OEM parts. But at the end of the day, you still only end up with like 12-inch rotors and single piston calipers.
Yeah.
And really no room to upgrade a little bit. So that's why I'm looking at Dodge Charger suspension. Ford Taurus. So us being cops, we beat on the cars. And we see patrol cars get beat. So I'm like, I like strong suspensions. And I started looking at the Taurus suspension. It's a McPherson strut design. So there's no upper control arm.
Correct.
It's just the strut tower, goes up to the top of the fender, and then it's got a really cool wishbone style control arm, and then the knuckle. I get that. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is a viable option. The only thing I was looking at is my hood to top of the fender clearance on the inside is very, very little, and I feel like if I do a strut style suspension, I need a tie bar between the two.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really want to stick a tie bar through the hood. So I got to cut that out and lower that mounting point so I have room to do a tie bar across the engine. What you see a lot with Hondas and stuff like that. This wasn't designed for that, so that it sits like I'm maybe an inch between the top of that, where that coil mount is, and the hood. So there's the McPherson strut design, which is very simple and is widely available. And it wouldn't be that hard. I just got to make a bracket on the front for the front part of the lower control arm, and one to hold the rear bushing on the lower control arm, and then put strut in. And then rack and pinions, that's not hard anymore. Either using a factory one set up from something, or like Summit or any of these other places have cut to fit rack and pinions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a project, bro. Like, either way, but you're going to have to shit or get off the pot on that one. You know what I mean? At some point, you got to fucking, all right, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, well, I need to go walk to the junkyard and just look at everything, but that will dictate if I keep the straight six that I put in it. So right now, sitting between the frame rails is a Jeep 4.0, 4-liter. And it bolted in. Like, I took the engine mounts, I took the Jeep Cherokee engine mounts off of the engine block, and then I took the AMC engine brackets I took off the 199 that I took out of it, and they bolted to the block.
Oh, okay.
Zero modification. Then I put the little rubber mounts in, and I dropped the engine in. And the engine sits perfectly in there. And the engine's out of a 2001 Cherokee, and it bolted into a 69 AMC. And I've got the 4-speed automatic with overdrive sitting behind it, the AW4, which is a common Toyota transmission. Supras run that.
Yeah, fucking Supras.
And actually, the Jeep valve body, from my understanding, is a little bit more robust than the ones Toyota put in their cars. So it's a common swap for the Toyota guys to go steal parts off the Jeep.
I don't. What is it? What is it that we got? M3.
I don't know.
Fucking what is it? Is
a V8 5-speed.
Yeah, I know. Fuck, I can't remember.
It's black, like most BMWs.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's an M3 and M5. I forget. It's an AMG though.
I think it's a 5 Series.
It's a 5 Series. I think it's an M5. I don't remember. I don't remember. I know that fucker runs, which is pretty badass. What I'll probably end up doing now, as opposed to turn it into a rally car, is just freaking turn it into a fucking just a fucking car, and drive that fucker around. I don't have to go far. I don't have far to go with that side than the other way. So
right,
it's just kind of like, because turning it into a rally car is, I don't have the time anymore. I don't have the money anymore. I don't think. I mean, not yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless you guys want to donate to my Patreon, and we'll record it and we'll turn that BMW into a rally car and race it. That'd be pretty funny. Because I mean, all these other podcasters are doing all kinds of nonsense. All them dudes are pogues, anyways. I don't get it.
I don't know.
Them guys didn't get rattled hard enough, I guess. I don't know. They got all their brain cells, so they're able to fucking push out better content, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
but yeah, man. But the car world is funny, man. I was talking to a couple people, telling them about the races that people are doing on the highways.
Yeah.
And showed them video of the jamming, all that, the electronic jamming and all this other shit. And people were like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah. This happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I brought it up, I got looked at like I was a fucking space alien.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not making this up, bro. Here's the video. And they're like, oh, shit. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, here's the jamming car, pilot car. Fucking. Here's where all my instruments did.
Yep.
I said, that's a multi-spectrum freaking directional jammer. It's freaking attacking all my freaking speed sensors.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Someone's missing an ECM off their MRAP.
Someone's missing an ECM. That's just funny. It's a fucking MRAP over there with just a bubble and nothing in it. Nothing in it.
Ain't nobody gonna check.
Ain't nobody in there. Just a Duke shroud and nothing in it.
What do you think about Dodge getting rid of the Charger and the Challenger?
I think it's stupid, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's stupid. There's everybody going woke, man. Everybody's going woke.
Well, the EPA's got a hand in that too.
Well, the EPA's going woke. Yeah. So, I mean, they're getting rid of internal combustible engines in California by fucking 20 something. Mm-hmm. They're already. If by 2024 you don't have it in your fucking garage, you can't get it no more. Like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Freaking gardeners are over there pushing battery lawnmowers, and I mean, it's insane. The infrastructure doesn't match what they're pushing. That green agenda is one of the dumbest freaking things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like you can't drive, dude. Your triple A response for your fucked up Tesla on the side of the road is a guy with a generator.
Yeah.
That don't make any fucking sense, man. It's like, in spite of the clear evidence in your face that this shit does not fucking work, they're doing it anyways. It's the dumbest shit ever.
Mm-hmm. And the Teslas aren't even necessarily the bad ones.
No. So people are misconstruing Tesla as Tesla is by far the most popular fucking EV car in the market, but every manufacturer has one. Every major car manufacturer has an EV model out because they have to keep up with the trend. They just have to. It's just.
But they've had them though.
But they've had them. Like
you remember
Honda's had theirs forever. That piece of shit one that looks like it has a push button in the front.
Yeah.
The Honda logo is a square fucking plate on the front. That thing's been around for decades.
And that wasn't that the one they tried to buy all of them back? Well,
they tried for, I don't know what ended up happening with that, but they've had that freaking ugly freaking just bro, I'll walk. I'll walk.
I don't understand why they gotta make electric cars look dumb.
Why do they gotta look so fucking ugly, man? I don't get it. So Ford tried their best by making that crossover thing, but they named it a Mustang.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no. Why? Name it something else. A fucking Pinto or whatever the fuck. I don't know. You got plenty of name for horses you can pick. Why ruin
the Maverick? Bring back the Maverick.
Why ruin the legacy of this fucking this car iconic?
Oh no, they did bring back the Maverick in a pickup truck.
Oh, did they?
They did.
Yeah, it's just like so they named it the fucking the Mustang. So now the new 2023 Mustang is could be EV crossover fucking looking thing.
It is. It's so fucking retarded.
It's fucking terrible. I mean, you can't go from where we're at. You can't drive to Ohio. Yeah, I'll make it.
No,
I'll make it. Where are you gonna charge, bro? Like, it's just the infrastructure is not there. So I'm not saying it's not a bad idea for intramural travel. Like if you're interstate travel, like say you live in a major city like Dallas, Austin, fucking San Francisco, fucking L.A. Some of these cities.
I think they
Houston,
make a great commuter car.
They make a great commuter car for intercity travel and stuff like that.
In ideal weather conditions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and an ideal grid. Electric grid, because you're plugging that thing into your house when you're home, and if your power fluctuates in a weird kind of way that car don't like, guess what, you just parked a bomb in your garage and you don't even know about it. So not necessarily a bomb, but just like an incendiary device you just fucking
those
put
lithium fires.
Bro, we've gone to a couple. I'm going to a couple of stops. I mean, we've had EV cars just spontaneously combust on the side of I-35.
Yeah,
that's happened twice between freaking Rogers and freaking Little River over there. There was a freaking EV car that was just driving down the road. Fucking people had to bail out. That fucker was like on fire, like it re-entered the atmosphere, like for no reason. So it's just like, I mean, come on, it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, if it was happening to those Samsung freaking phones that were exploding in people's pockets, what do you think is going to happen to that fucking car? Come on, man. Like, it's just the technology is almost there as far as reliability.
It's
but
getting there, but
but they're pushing it way faster than where it's at.
The thing is like, if they just didn't push it, it would get there anyways.
Yeah, it would get there because it's fashionable, bro. Who doesn't want to drive it? Who the fuck doesn't want to drive their laptop?
Right. Also, there's no comparison on power.
No. Well, yeah. There's no mechanical. There's very little mechanical when it comes to throttle input to response to tire. It's instantaneous. So there's a big difference there. Anybody that's driven a Tesla or has a Tesla, especially like a Model S or something like that, you can testify. Just look at the videos, man. That car is wicked fast.
Yeah. Now they're not allowed to race against.
No, but they're in a different category. They're a different category. Yeah. So it's there's Because the internal combustion engine, there's a process that has to take place in order for that power to be generated to
and translate
all the way. It's just diminishing, and what you get at the tires is completely different to what started in the combustion.
Right.
So it's but in an EV it's different. It's just fucking
there.
Boom! It's a button. You're driving your computer.
Yeah.
So you double click the fucking accelerator and kapow, you're gone. So.
But it's like you're driving your computer, but do you still have your computer from '95?
Exactly. That's the thing. So you have to maintain a continuous connection on a lot of these cars. You have to in order to receive software updates and stuff like that. These things are susceptible to fucking all kinds of. If you think for 1 second there ain't somebody developing malware for these things to freaking disable freaking police forces who have gone completely EV for some fucking strange reason.
Well, look at like Ford's even trying to put a stop to that. If you have a police car, Ford, that was like an actual police car from Ford, it doesn't have Bluetooth.
Why?
You can't even add it.
Why? I don't get it.
Because they didn't want the connectivity.
They didn't want the connectivity to the car. Oh.
They didn't want it outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, fuck. I mean, okay.
So they're just like, you just can't have it.
Yeah.
That's why there's no, there's usually not power locks or remote locks.
Right. That like Kia, fuck, they're stealing the shit out of them.
Oh, dude, and like the responses, here's your bar.
Yeah. Fuck, they went back to the club, bro.
Yeah, they went back to the club.
As seen on TV.
Yeah, I mean, good initiative, I suppose.
All right, so now they got to carry a set of bolt cutters.
You don't even need that. You just pull it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the thing is that who's doing these?
Kids.
Yeah, it's kids, so they don't have the strength to fucking pull these
That's
things.
true. Fucking weak.
Yeah. Skinny TikTokers.
Yeah.
That's who's doing all this shit. So it's it's fucking crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So we're regressing in that aspect. I mean, come on, bro. Like these EVs, man. I mean, there's a I forgot who else made a couple that were fucking. So Honda had theirs. Toyota has one.
Chevy
had theirs. That was the Bolt.
Mm-hmm. Oh. That's the one that they tried buying back.
Yeah, the Bolt, the Chevy Bolt. Oh my God, what a horrible car. They look like ass. I don't know.
Yeah, like if you have the option to make an EV, why you gotta make it look ugly when you can reach back? Especially this is like the nostalgia period. I mean, look at Marvel. Mm-hmm. Marvel's just remaking everything from comic books.
Yeah.
And then Disney's just redoing old Disney movies over and over.
Yeah, but they're adding women and making it gay. So like as Cartman said.
Yeah.
And like, women make it gay.
You could make an EV and bring back some of the styling from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s.
Yeah.
Just depending on what era. Pick an era and just make one.
I mean, yeah, they can do a whole bunch.
Because now you're not constrained by, a traditional engine package.
Yeah, I mean, another thing is that how they're harvesting all the material to actually make the batteries. So that's a problem in and of itself, man. So China's a huge conglomerate, man. When it comes, they got a stranglehold on the lithium and freaking cobalt and
they're trying to force all the things. So they need the raw materials,
right?
Well, the support crews for all that are being worked to death.
Well, yeah, it was child labor for the most part.
Yeah.
So, and once those mines go up, man, and they finish mining operations, those places are inhabitable forever. Nothing else will grow there. It's just crazy. It's one of the most environmentally destructive freaking operations that known to man, which is ironic because it's all done in the guise of hey, we're saving the planet. No, you're fucking destroying the planet and killing thousands of people just to have the facade of saving the planet. When internal combustion engine is fine.
Well, yeah, dude. There's been so many things where like hot rodders and car people of all different walks of life, they will constantly prove that if you just tune that vehicle to its environment, it produces far less emissions.
So getting down to brass tacks. I mean, so what the common person out there doesn't know that the internal combustion engine is just that. Gasoline has been the most effective combustible thing.
It's one of the easiest ways to store energy.
Ways to store energy. So, but in theory, if it creates a combustion, it can make a cylinder move. So there's a lot of different things out there that they can actually be utilized in lieu of not putting fuel. I mean, hydrogen. I mean, there's you've seen the rise of ethanol and some of these other freaking combustibles, but
that's just so hard on the system.
Yeah, it's fucking terrible. But it's
But what you don't see is, and you see it a lot in Europe and the rest of the world, but in America you don't. Diesel,
yeah, diesel, but
it's more efficient.
Yeah, it's high torque, no low HP. I mean, but
it's not even low HP anymore.
I mean, it's different times. It's a different diesel engine from the ones that I grew up with.
Well, yeah.
Back in my day, I mean, you drove a Saab diesel engine. That car was not fast at all.
No, but the technology's there. Look at
the guy that had it is still driving it, and it's been 35 years.
Yeah, it's got 1 million miles on it. Yeah. But the technology is there. Look at the heavy duty trucks.
Yeah.
Some of these new heavy-duty trucks are putting out 1,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Well, it's
factory.
Yeah, I mean, but it's also that it's hard to depreciate a vehicle that still holds its ground at over 200,000 miles. You know what I mean? You got one of them old Ford F550s, freaking twin turbo diesels or whatever the fuck. You hauling freaking 24-foot gooseneck trailers forever. That thing is still, It don't matter. It's not gonna die. So, at worst, the most you gotta do is replace some freaking bushings and shit like that.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
Well, and so they started, because I don't know if you realize that some of these newer SUVs, the larger ones, they Dodge had an option for them. Chevy did too. A 3-liter diesel. But the problem is they tried to reinvent the wheel. So the timing chain.
Okay.
Is behind the engine.
Well,
or there'll be some small serviceable part that didn't need to be serviceable if they just made it out of metal instead of plastic. You remember when the plastic intakes first started coming out? They just melt.
Yeah, I mean, there was a bunch of other little things like they would put AC pumps resting on manifolds.
Yeah.
And, so then you're just your first indication was your freaking serpentine belt is losing its fucking mind. Because
you're cooking it.
Because you're cooking it. And, and then eventually it would just go, and then your AC's you're like, oh, fuck. No.
And there's,
so it's just, I mean, it's been a growth, but I mean, we definitely not ready for EVs, man. That's just, I mean, it's a good thing to continue to develop, but I mean, China's got fucking hundreds of thousands of EV car farms just strung all over their countryside and whatever. They built these EVs and never fucking sold, and they just fucking threw them in fucking piles and piles and piles. Have you seen those mountains, bro?
Yeah,
mountains.
It's just like the blades for the turbines.
I did on one of these episodes where there's one company here in Texas that's taken it upon themselves to actually be the industry leader in repurposing, recycling these freaking these freaking wind turbine blades.
Yeah, because they're all fiberglass.
So they're reshredding the fiberglass blades because they were just being buried.
Yeah,
they're not biodegradable. Not going anywhere. Especially if you bury them. If you bury them, they're not. Fiberglass deteriorates with the sun.
Right, with UV
Fucking
rays.
with UV deteriorates that fiberglass. You all seen some derelict boat sitting somewhere. That's fiberglass.
Right.
You seen how it turns yellow and then it just freaking whatever. That's fiberglass deteriorating because of UV lighting. UV lighting will go right through paint. You guys have seen it. You've seen them cars with the crazy off-color roofs. Well, that's because that car sat in an area that was really sunny for many years, and the UV lighting freaking took away the freaking top gloss and whatever, and off it went. But these freaking blades are just burying them, so they'll never degrade.
Yeah.
And you can't use them for shit.
And they're huge.
They're enormous. They're the size of freaking two 18-wheelers. It's fucking crazy. So... Yeah. I mean, we've had how many get stuck over here on railroad tracks? I don't know how many times. Some freaking poor trucker that ain't from around here. No common sense. Just fucking bang around.
Doesn't look at the signs.
It doesn't look at the sign. It's, you're going to get high center. So bangs a right turn in a residential street and fucking gets high center on some railroad tracks. A fucking dummy. So it happens all the time. I mean, them things are enormous. So this company out of Texas started freaking shredding these things back into powder and just freaking to reuse the fiberglass. I'm like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, they remix it into
they use it for mortar, for concrete, and highway stuff, and whatever. They've done it for all kinds of stuff. They used it for all kinds of shit. So, but whatever the hell you would use fiberglass powder for or whatever.
Right.
I mean, other than fucking, I don't know, getting breathing conditions or whatever.
Well, it's like a lot of the things we use, like plastics and stuff like that, are not reusable in the way that we think they are.
Well,
because when they melt them down, it's no longer the same grade of plastic.
No, but of course, I mean, and then you got a lot has to be said about, BPAs and stuff like that,
Right.
that when it comes to the degradation of the plastic with heat and what kind of chemicals it dumps into the liquid that it contains, and then you drink them, and all of a sudden you a few years of that, and you want to be gay or something. So at least that's what the studies say. I mean, BPAs have a high probability of increasing estrogen production in the male's body, and you end up your tits start to itch. So it's it gets so flushed. If I BPA, so you're drinking bottled water, just sitting in the sun. Freaking just getting
like the pallets of it,
like the pallets of that shit.
Oh
like
my
we
gosh.
in Iraq, all of a sudden you get these Navy SEALs that want to suck dick. It's just like, well, duh, he's been fucking drinking mineral water that's been in pallets. Fucking, he's been swallowing BPAs for freaking 10 years. Yeah, of course he's gay now. He's chock full of fucking estrogen. And it takes a couple years of correcting that and not doing that. And he goes like, oh, what the fuck? I don't want to be gay no more. It's like, yeah, of course not. It's like, yeah, you've been fucking chemically imbalanced. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, there are things out there, bro. There are things out there. Yeah. But I mean, this shit's out of control, man. I don't know what they're gonna do with the fucking with all this other stuff, but I fucking hate suspension work, bro. I remember compressing springs with my dad, bro, and just kind of like fucking like old school.
Oh yeah. Fucking, see, I don't have to worry about that. I got coilovers.
Like fucking. Fuck. On some sketchy ass fucking with the teeth, bro. Had the rods and the fucking. You're like, at any moment that thing could just fucking. And you're just eating a spring through your freaking chest cavity.
I got one stuck. I actually had to use those spring compressors to get the spring out on the Rebel, and I got one stuck. Like I couldn't get it to let go. So I just went out back and I just chucked it.
Yeah,
and it hit the ground. It was like,
bro. It's like in Puerto Rico for a while they had that. I told you about that stuff where they would just do. I don't know what I forget. So they had the in Puerto Rico they call them muellas. Like, so it stands for molars. Mm-hmm. So it was like these fucking knuckles that you would put inside your springs to fucking keep them extended. So it's for
you can. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So it was like these H-shaped knuckles. Yeah, made out of like
and
cast
you beat
iron.
them in there.
You made out of cast iron. You fucking beat them in between the coils, just to keep the fucking. You put one. You on each side. Buy them
from AutoZone.
Yeah, you put one on each side of the freaking spring just to keep them fucking, just to raise your suspension. It's like a cheap way of raising your suspension. It's fucking. brutal, bro. When them things got spat out by you hit a pothole, a good one.
Yeah.
But bow, it's a fucking bullet, bro. It's like, bro. Like, I mean, sketch, bro. There's a lot of sketchy shit in Puerto Rican mechanics, bro. It's just like, it's like, what the fuck are these? We're raising the suspension 2 inches. Get a new fucking spring, bro. We got enough. Yeah. We got enough travel. Let's get a new spring and shocks, bro. It's like, this shit don't make no sense. Like, you fucking slamming these fucking knuckles into these coils. This is crazy.
Oh, this is good enough.
Oh, this is good enough. Like, okie dokie.
Or like lifting trucks with just the blocks in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like this fucking tall.
Bro, yeah, a lot of people forget that when you hit a pothole, there's a negative and then a positive. So if you put something under the springs, it's gonna decompress.
It's gonna fall out,
and it's gonna fucking fall out. But it's not
under
gonna
pressure.
But it's not gonna fall out fast enough to get out of the way of the fucking compression when it comes back. Pop. So it's just gonna squeeze it like a bar of soap. Just gonna, but like way faster, way more violent. It's gonna go right through that bit. Dude, my next door,
it goes out and not.
My next door neighbor showed up with a big ass hole in his quarter panel of his pickup truck. It just went through the freaking tin, pow, right out the side. Like it shot through the tin. It's crazy. Ooh. It took the mud covering and everything. Fucking fall right through that shit. The felt and everything. Fucking gone. Where did that thing land? Who the hell knows? He never did that crap again. But then he did some other stupid shit with his Honda to fucking cut the springs so he could lower the car and whatever. And then that thing was bouncy. I was like, oh my God, man. Y'all stop doing this Frankenstein mechanic stuff. That's why, like my Lincoln, I just want it to run. I'll change the rims on it because I got a cracked rim on one of the tires, so it's just kind of like one of those things. But I don't want to. I'm built like somebody was like, man, why don't you turn into a lowrider? I was like, for what? Lowrider for what? To do what exactly? Why would I do that?
To ride lower.
To do for what? I don't fucking want that. I had time for a car meet. You know, like.
Yeah, maybe in a patrol car.
Yeah, I had time to go to places and just. Yeah, check it.
I want to.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out and just sit there with my car.
No,
thanks, man.
That's a goal.
I'm good. I'm good. That I had my time with that. That time has passed. We're way too busy now.
That car got wrecked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because I think I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, the Mitsubishi.
Yep.
Yeah. Lancer Evo 7. Fucking
shame.
Rest in peace. But you guys that are joining us and whatever, joined us on this journey here, don't forget to like and subscribe and tune in. And we're on Spotify, we're on freaking Samsung, we're on Amazon Music, we're on just about every platform out there. So
let us know what else you guys want to hear.
Yeah.
Because between the three of us and the people we know, we have a lot of different backgrounds.
Yeah, James is out for a few days. He's out there training and whatnot, so he's got stuff to do, stuff and things. So when James is away, if I can get Farmer to come in and fill in, be my number 2 on the seat, that'd be great. But yeah, so we'll talk about some other stuff. And so don't forget, like and subscribe and share the content. And see you guys in a couple weeks.